converting. Daphne's very good at doing that. The legwork.
It's a great deal. And this month at Shop BMW, you can take advantage.
Yeah, but I do all of the outline, though, of what, because each business needs to do.
Yeah, what questions? Yeah.
50,000-mile warranty.
Okay,
Here's the complimentary scheduled maintenance. It's a deal you can't afford to miss.
What does this mean? Capital One's actually. Look at this. Spark 401k. Saving for retirement just got a whole lot easier. Oh wow, look at this. So they're doing a rewards credit card through Capital One that rewards into a 401k.
Yep.
Yeah, that's, I wonder what they invested in though.
Acorn does that type of stuff too, but it's not 401k, it's
Just an IRA.
it's just regular savings.
Huh. I don't know what the, they used to drive me crazy when people would put, I had employees in Goodyear that would put down like 6 dependents, or I'm sorry, they would have 6 dependents and put down 1 because they wanted a...
I know, they want a lot of money taken out.
They wanted, no, yeah, and they want a huge refund. They almost looked at that refund as a savings account, and it just blew me away that
it's stupid.
It's their own money. Why are they letting Uncle Sam sit on their money?
They have no discipline. They have no discipline, and they feel it's the best thing.
Yeah.
It's the best they can get.
Plus, now interest rates are so low that if you did get it, put it in a savings account.
Not able to get electronic copies of deliveries?
What's that?
I'm looking at the caller information. I'm like, what are deliveries?
Not able to get electronic copies of, must be deliveries. Ah, deliveries.
Deliveries.
What's a delivery out of curiosity? We have a new, we have an intern. Dalivery. That is a great one. Listen, I can't get a copy of my Daliveries.
It's happened twice now.
Cat, years ago, I talked about aborganals on air for probably a half hour.
Oh, I know aborganals very well.
Before a woman called me up and she goes, "You mean the Aboriginals?" And I go, "Those damn aborganals." I was talking about some tribe. These damn aborganals.
Those damn aborganals.
I've had a few faux pas like that.
Faux boxes.
Yeah, a few faux boxes.
Do you also serve horse deoveries at your...
My dad actually did that, horse deovers. When they first, I still hear the story from my mom. When I first met your dad, he took me to this fancy restaurant that, of course, neither of us can afford. And I'll never forget him saying, "Do you want some horse deovers?"
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, and I want to help you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to help you in any way we can. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the entire universe where we strive to make your life just a little easier. How do we do that? Well, here's what we do. We get personally involved. We have attorneys. We have all kinds of professionals, accountants. I mean, seriously, we do so much off the air. We do more off the air. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. We also have the new referral list facelift that is now live, and soon to be troubleshooter.com, which is going to be its own separate entity. It used to go to the referral list. You'll still be able to link to the referral list, but it will have tons of consumer information there. And then soon to come, our screaming deals will be formalized. God, I used to love doing those screaming deals. And then we have so many exciting things. Listen, folks, please tell friends about the show. I'll tell you why. So many new people are moving in. And we got to get the word out because there is strength in numbers. There is help in numbers. And when you get help, you tell people about it and they can get help. And when people get help, then they help by spreading the word. When we all stick together, we can truly make a difference. Really. We have a situation I'm going to talk about in a little while that breaks our hearts. I have so many problems that come across my desk that I get too personally involved, too personally vested. Have you ever known injustice? You just feel like standing on a mountaintop and screaming? Well, this is my mountaintop. But still, we don't always succeed in getting the word out. This particular problem, you're gonna be shocked. We also have a guest today from our referral list at referrallist.com, Kat Campbell. Her name's Caitlin. We call her Kat, like the cat, with Tower Financial Partners. Tower Financial Partners, if I had to describe them in a sentence, I would say business assistance in every category. It truly is. So if you have a business, they can help you in every category, from accounting to payroll to advertising to mission statements to procedures, planning, exit planning, whatever it is. They assist you by doing tasks or training you. But also, if you want to start a business, they can walk you through that process. If you have any questions at all about business, we're going to go through them anyway. But Kat's with us, and she helped us put on that seminar, the Small Business Boot Camp. We had a great time. Kat, welcome to the show. I think I told you what your biggest problem is defining what you do.
It's true. We really
seriously, you do so much. It's hard.
Needs.
It's really hard. How do you describe it? I mean, I hate the word consultant because you do so much more, but consulting is definitely something. You're a sounding board too. Hey, I have an idea. I want to do this. What do you think? I want to do that. What do you think? Also, can you help me with payroll? Yes, you can. You can help them set it up, and you can either do it and manage the payroll service, or you can train them to do it. Payroll's a big deal. What's the biggest request you get from business? What's the biggest? What do you do the most of? Accounting?
No, I would say with business, a lot of businesses are really looking for more proactive advice. So instead of having an accountant that fills in your tax compliance, we're going to help you plan what's going on, alert you to what's coming up with law, and how you might need to pivot specifically because your business is different from other businesses. Okay.
So you give advice, but you also can help implement it.
Absolutely.
All right, good. And we're going to talk way more about it. I want people to call, though. We love businesses. You know, when we do this show, we do it because we love business. We love consumers. So many times, businesses fail, not for lack of skill, but for lack of ability to run a business. You may be a great electrician, a great plumber, a great attorney, a great doctor, a great dentist, a great anything, but you don't know how to run a business. You see, the business part is all the same. You're great at your skill. That doesn't mean you can run a business. We help businesses as much as consumers. So call us with any questions whatsoever about your small business. Anything. All right? Eva, excuse me. Eva, what's happening? What's going on?
Okay, I received my Denver Post bill yesterday.
You still get the Denver Post?
I still get.
You know it's free online, free. You don't have to pay a dime.
Well, that may be, but the only time I get to really read my paper is in the evening when I'm sitting down to relax.
Oh, and you don't have like a laptop or an iPad or anything?
Oh, I do have a laptop.
Oh, dear. Okay, that's okay. I'm going to help you with this. But man, I'll tell you, I don't think I've ever picked up a book or a newspaper in years because I have so many, you know, digital ways. So,
well,
okay, is the bill too much? What's going on with the bill?
Well, my bill for 1 year, 52 weeks, is $284.95. Now, both my husband and I are seniors and works and retired and on a limited income. That is ridiculous. They don't even give servicemen discount.
Well, just get rid of it. I mean, my God, I wouldn't pay that amount for it. I had no idea the paper was $250 bucks a year.
Why would you bother, Eva? I mean, I mean, this is really not a problem. This is just a fact. So it's more. I mean, get rid of it.
I'll tell you why it costs so much.
Seriously,
She's probably the only one getting it still.
No, there's quite a few people in our block.
Yeah, okay. So is it more than they said it would be?
Well, they give you a 26-week for $142.48, which is what I got for last year.
Okay, so what's the problem? It's more than you expected, right?
Oh my gosh, it's way over.
Okay, so did they increase the price?
Well, I'm sure they have.
Well, okay, but there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, if it costs what it costs, but I don't mind calling them, and they should be thankful there are people like you that want their paper. I mean, I don't mind calling them and asking if they'll give you a break. What do you want, Eva, right now?
I did. I called them yesterday.
And what did they say, Eva?
They said, we can't help it. You're actually getting the lowest price we have.
Then Eva, cancel it. What can I tell you? Eva, I don't know what to tell you, dear. It is what it is, and it's such a problem. You know, for you, I understand that, dear. I can hear that you love your paper. God, those days are so over. Just please get used to a laptop or some kind of handheld device. Would you talk to Eva personally, Suzanne? Please, listen. Ask her to, we'll have somebody, we literally would have somebody go over and show her, if she needs to, how to get that post. I may even have an old iPad. I'm serious. I want to help Eva out. She sounds like a sweetheart. Ask her if she wants help. I mean, to fight over a Denver Post bill, they should be grateful people are taking this paper. Charging for it? They're dead. They are dead. They're dinosaurs. They're not even going to be around. Beth held yesterday. What's going on, Beth? Beth? And she's not there, so she's going to hold again. Brian, what's going on with you? Hello, Brian.
Yes, I was just trying to get some information on contesting a will.
What do you need to know about contesting a will? And, yeah, first tell me that. What do you need to know?
Well, we believe there's undue influence involved as far as had a mother-in-law pass away.
The mother-in-law passed away, right?
Right.
Okay, when did she pass away?
June 1st.
Mother-in-law, June 1st. Now, what in the will do you not like?
The percentage distributed to all the siblings.
How many siblings?
5.
Okay. And who did the undue influence, do you think?
The daughter that has...
the biggest share?
The personal representative, one of the biggest shares, and she received the estate.
All right, you hold on. This is classic. We get this a lot. Contesting a will. Why? Because it's unfair. Do you have grounds? We'll talk about it coming up, plus have an expert we can refer you to right after this.
Uh-oh, I was just thinking about starting a company.
Basically, they're saying, hey, I want more money. Many times. Hey, parents, you know, if you have a favor, give them more. Who cares?
I tell you what, though, it's a lot easier to do everything.
Just sue people and don't worry about it.
So what happens if the one, let's just say, you know what, takes care of you for 50 years and you live in the house?
It might be easier, but that doesn't.
It's not equitable, and it doesn't mean that it's not the price. What we see with people,
My kids won't be treated. Ever get a Salisbury?
I've already tried lining David up. He wasn't available.
You don't have to worry about it. We'll take care of it. We talked about it.
We got 7 kids in this whole body, you know, one.
What the? Okay, good. So you got a kid that never comes and sees you?
No. As long as you stay ahead of time, tell everybody this stuff.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And when you have a
Talk to me about it. What did you say?
Oh, we have 7 kids in the family, and that's the way it's divided up.
You have 7 children?
No, I don't have 7 children.
He's part of one of the 7.
You are. I'm part of 5.
Yeah.
7.
And they divided everything 7.
Farmers. There's nothing else to do.
My mom's devout Catholic.
one's Jehovah's Witness. Broke my parents up.
She won't leave anything.
Nope.
She ought to be happy as a Jehovah's Witness.
Everybody gets even though she totally broke her heart because when you become that versus you're Catholic.
In other words, he actually started reading the Bible and following God's word, and so she got upset.
Well, because she's a very
I remember.
Catholic.
Oh, I know. I remember being a devout Catholic, and I remember asking the priest about a Bible, and he said it was leaving the Catholic Church. Though is a sin. Man. He said you weren't supposed to read the Bible.
He was just. They were just like.
He said it was only for the holy people, holy men, to interpret. And then, whenever I asked a question in Catholic school, they couldn't answer. They said it was a divine mystery.
Really? Well, that's true.
Yeah.
You know,
I grew up.
You can't beat the fact, though, you can walk in and be, what do you call it when you go in and do,
Dipping in the holy water?
No. Confession.
Oh, you do your Hail Marys, you go out and do it again.
I don't. By the way, I'm not saying Catholics are any worse than any religion. Actually, I'm not down on Catholics, but it's weird. I mean, sometimes people become way more devout when they change, and it really broke her heart that much that she's going to disinherit it.
No. Even though it broke her heart, she still.
She's
everything.
I'm sorry. Then why'd you mention? I thought you were saying because he thinks it's bullshit.
No. I think it's great because there's no fighting. If everybody gets the exact same thing,
right.
Does your mom have some money?
Well, like I said, when my dad died.
Yeah, I mean, is it worth?
It's going to be $3 million probably altogether.
Oh, okay.
So it's not, huge one. With 7 kids.
Yeah.
You know what's weird, though, is once again, if one of the kids is taking care of you as you're older, I don't know why that person wouldn't get
He's not saying there's anything wrong with it. He's just saying it's easier.
Does anyone take care of your mom, or she?
They go visit her, but no, she.
But you're certainly not saying they have to do it. You're just saying.
I'm saying it makes everything easier. There's no fighting.
Yeah, of course.
But
that doesn't mean anything.
We see people come in and like, this kid is not doing this, and we already lent this kid $50,000 and that. And so we say you need to put that in your will in consideration of the $50,000 we gave you as a down payment. We will not be giving you that 50. Your siblings will get.
No, I like that.
That's my mom.
They're taking it they're taking it early.
And like
they're taking their inheritance early. That's
we have
exactly
stuff in
what
our bill that says you're not getting. You get your first chunk at 25, you get your second chunk at 40, and it's only if.
Doesn't it? What does it mean to you in an ad? I'm looking at some used antics here with wings. Anyway, when you look at
with the wings.
When you look at ads, I'm just not really buying. I'm just looking. When it says please call, what does that mean immediately to you? When for price it says please call.
It's more expensive than everything.
And they have to explain it, right? Isn't that weird? Why do people put that in ads? We need to do ads. I agree with you. The classifieds. Let's please do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's do it.
Please call.
But here's the problem. You know how we get inundated when comments are open, so how those bots go out? I mean, we could have literally.
Well, they're going to have to. They're still going to have to
register.
Yeah.
Michael Brown.
We need to do that. And then I'll plug it every day. So when can we get that started?
Later today at 4.
We got to get. It's going to be on Troubleshooter. Oh no, it'll be on Referral List actually.
Yeah. I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Kat Campbell with Tower Financial Partners, your business friend. If you have any questions about small business, and we do, so hang on, we'll get to you. But I want to help everyone with a problem. And Brian says he wants to contest a will. Now, Brian, let me explain something. If a will is written, and it's written well, and it's done the proper way, you almost never win a contest ever. Okay, because that contract is between the state and that deceased person, unless you have some really compelling proof. I just want to tell you that so you don't waste a lot of time and energy. But, of course, we have attorneys, too, that can help you in that and can talk to you about it, namely David Salisbury. He's not here to get on the phone, but David would give you always a free initial consultation because he does wills, trusts, probate, and if someone is named a personal representative, you don't think they should be, I mean, he can answer all of these questions. And even if somebody is planning an estate and they want to do it beforehand,
it's David is the one we go to. So that's Salisbury. And again, we're still going to talk to you about it. 720-493-3911 is David. I always like giving his name out in context. 720-493-3911. So let me ask you something. What is your evidence? You say there was undue influence. And by the way, there is nothing wrong with undue influence. You know, that's funny. It's something we hear on TV, and we feel like, you know, you hear terms, and you say, yeah, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. Did you know that that influence is not illegal?
No, I did not. All this kind of stems from she pulled a reverse mortgage about a year prior to her death.
Okay.
And there was some fraud involved with...
Fraud? How?
She deposited her reverse mortgage lump sum into her checking account. There was some fraud taking place with her debit card.
Well, when you say fraud now, the reverse mortgage itself, how much did she take out?
Her lump sum originally was $70,000.
And what did it accrue to?
You know, I'm not sure on that. Just several months later, they noticed there was some funds missing from the account. They went to the bank. The bank investigated it, found videotape of the representative, this current representative of the state.
Your sister?
Spouse, sister-in-law, correct. Her spouse was taking out $100 every day.
Okay, hold on. Brian, is this your mom that died or your mother-in-law?
Mother-in-law.
And that's your wife's mom, and
correct.
and her sister was robbing the estate before death.
Correct.
Okay,
or
but
sister's husband.
Now,
spouse.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Here's what I want to tell you. If they had access to the account, who says they can't do that?
Well, the thing of it is when the police came to investigate it with the video evidence, the mother-in-law wanted to initially press charges. After the daughter, the sister-in-law, convinced her not to, the bank then paid the lump sum back into the account, and they were going to press charges.
Who paid back? The bank?
Actually,
now, was he forging her name?
No, he was just using a debit card.
Okay, but again, no charges were filed, right? The bank did not file charges?
The bank did reimburse into the...
No, I know that. How much did the bank reimburse?
I believe it was like $4,000.
Okay, and then bank reimbursed it. Now, where does the bank stand?
Right now, I believe the investigation is still open. I believe he still has a warrant for his arrest. But
wait, a warrant for his arrest?
For the bank was going to press charges.
Yeah, but that's not they don't issue a warrant based on that. I mean, did they actually press charges?
I believe so. We tried to contact the officer that was helping us, and we haven't had a response.
Okay, so this guy is facing some trouble. So now, how does this get to contesting the will? Quickly, how does that get to contesting the will?
Well, we just believe that she's been manipulated. She was diagnosed with dementia about a year ago, and we just think...
When was the will written?
About 10 days prior to her death.
Oh, it was recent. She never had one before that?
Correct.
Okay, hold on a sec. So how much money is the estate altogether? All assets added up, subtract the debt. How much to the good is this estate?
I'm guessing around $200,000.
Okay, now I want to know, how was it distributed among 5 siblings?
One received the estate.
The whole estate?
I'm sorry, the property.
I just want to know percentage-wise, how much did this one get that you feel used undue influence?
Well, she received the house and then 20% of the estate.
So she got a fifth of the estate, as she should get, but she got the house on top of it. How much equity in the house? There's a reverse mortgage on it. How much equity is on it?
Approximately 140, and I misspoke. It was 20 shares, which equals to about 40% of the estate.
Okay.
So yeah, she received more than double of any other.
Okay, well, I got to tell you, was there a beneficiary's deed on that house?
You know,
Okay, let's just cut this short. Here's what I want to tell you. You have no evidence at all of undue influence. You have a very weak case. The fact that she got the house plus a fifth of the estate to share with her brothers and sisters is not evidence. The fact that her husband took money out of the bank is not evidence against her. You got an uphill battle. I'm just telling you what you're facing, Brian, to prove undue influence and that will is not valid. You'd have to show she was not competent at the time. So you need medical evidence, not your opinion. You need somebody. When was the last time she was at a doctor? You need that doctor or that medical or healthcare provider to write that this person could not have done that will. Was this will witnessed by an attorney?
Yes, it was.
Okay, go to the attorney. Attorneys are not going to put their license on the line if someone was incompetent. So you got a problem if there was an attorney. Were there any other witnesses?
Would you feel the hospice nurses are...
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent. However, it takes court orders and subpoenas to get them. This is no easy thing, Brian. You need to really fight this. If you feel you're right, will your brothers and sisters chip in with you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what you need to do. Your first step, I would talk to David Salisbury. Now, again, he may not handle this all the way to trial, but you can get at least a consultation with him. And if he can't handle it, he will definitely be able to turn you on to someone, okay? Then, if you have hospice nurses and healthcare providers who can say that she was out of it when that will was written, you have a good chance of setting it aside. But here's a danger, Brian. The danger is if you guys start fighting and cannot agree on a personal representative, do you know what happens? A public administrator. Do you know what happens when a public administrator comes in?
No.
I'm going to tell you, most of the time, you can kiss 30 to 40% of the estate away because that's what they eat up in time and fees. And most of them, in my opinion, are crooked. That's right. They look to build the estate. They take advantage of the fear and the distrust that everyone has for each other, and they suck that estate. They suck it dry and then distribute what's left. It's the worst thing that could happen to you. In fact, it would be better to leave it like it is than have a public trustee. And I'm serious, Brian. If what you care about is what you get, keep a public trustee out of it. The rest of you better speak in unison and not have everyone fighting. That is a fact, Jack. Okay? So David Salisbury, 720-493-3911. Be careful, folks, when it comes to this stuff. Now, Dennis is thinking of starting a business. Dennis, what kind of business do you want to start?
Hey, Tom, appreciate your call.
Yes, sir.
It's a kiosk, a drive-up food and beverage business.
Very interesting. Very interesting. A kiosk, drive-through?
Yes.
And do you have a location?
We have a general location in a certain part of town, so there's a major street. And
but do you know you can get a kiosk in where you want?
No, and that's one of our questions.
All right, you hold on, and we'll come right back and talk about starting a business with Kat Campbell, Tower Financial Partners. We have a lot going on today, and I urge you to tell a friend about it because you learn a lot, especially if you're trying to start a business right now. All about bathrooms. They started a business. They said, you know what? We want to be just about bathrooms, seriously. And what they did is formed a company to provide high-quality bathroom remodeling services. They did that in 2001. They work from Bellevue, basically south, Highlands Ranch, Castle Rock, the Parker area, Douglas County. They do all of course, Cherry Hills and Greenwood Village. Give them a call. They would love to talk to you. They do everything from the beginning through the end. 720-524-7546. These high-end bathrooms, you notice I didn't say high price. Now, what I mean is you get great value. All about bathrooms. They are the bathroom specialists. 720-524-7546. I went out to the Art of Granite, and I met Mitch. Came to America with $300 in his pocket. He starts working in granite and then decides to have his own place. He's a fabricator. They take this stone and make it into beautiful countertops. He meets you in your home, not in a warehouse. He designs your countertops, and then you buy only enough granite to get it done. You don't have to buy the slab, or 2, or 3, and then he makes it beautiful with artistic edges, backdrops, and they also do, of course, other stones like marble. They do limestone. They do all kinds of stone. They never mark up the stone ever. When you get a kitchen right now, he's going to throw in the bath for no charge, and he's going to show you how it's done the right way. 303-386-5919. 303-386.
He also has this like fantasy that Microsoft bailed him out one time, otherwise Apple would have been bankrupt.
Well, it's true. Well, that's what's true.
Apple is the number one.
Apple gave Windows to Microsoft. Apple's invented Windows.
Well, no, Apple invented the GUI interface. That interface.
It's all underlying DOS still.
But truly, no, Apple was never.
I don't even get these arguments anymore.
Apple was Linux, but here's the deal. Windows truly was a copycat, but it was a totally different platform. The thing Windows did was amazing. Did you hear what he did? He developed that for IBM. You know that, right? Gates and his partner.
Well, they bought it. You're talking DOS?
No, they didn't buy it.
They bought it.
AT&T, no labs.
No. Bill Gates invented DOS. He didn't buy DOS. He wrote DOS in his fucking garage. What do you mean he bought it from who?
Bought it from somebody and then sold it to...
Well, he may have bought something and enhanced it, but he wasn't just a middleman. Look it up. I mean, come on. You're saying he had no hand in it?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the
find out.
That's how we got it.
But what he did when he sold DOS to IBM was he sold it cheaper than anyone could do it because he asked for, what was it, rights to the core. In other words, he kept rights. And they said, sure, go ahead. What the hell can you do? You know, you can keep the...
What's this got to do with little Chinese kids jumping to their death working
what I'm
for
saying,
Apple?
we were just talking...
Might be better for them to do now.
But that's not true, is what I'm saying.
They pay them in parachutes.
They were jumping off to get a sandwich.
Does iHeart Guest die a lot?
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay.
It actually sucks.
Okay. And then I will stop attempting to.
What are you trying to connect to? You can use a browser on there. It's still kind of slow though.
So Gates didn't buy DOS from Kittle. Gates actually sent IBM to Kittle to buy / license a version of CPM for the new IBM person.
Did he? What does this say?
Gates actually sent IBM to Kittle to buy the license, a version of the CP/.
He wrote DOS.
IBM couldn't or wouldn't make a deal with Kittle. Microsoft bought what became MS-DOS from Seattle Computer.
See what he bought. See what he bought.
For $50,000 and licensed it to IBM.
And
so when he bought it from Seattle Computer Products.
Okay.
And sold
it. What he sold to IBM didn't even resemble what he
licensed
bought.
it to IBM.
No, but what he bought and licensed IBM, that's what it was. He licensed it and kept it, and then it later turned into Windows. But what he did, oh my God, the entire Coke can spilled.
No. Can you get out of here?
You don't believe it?
No way.
The whole thing?
No. Tom spilled something? No.
No, I got like,
way.
No, this is terrible. This is like the whole thing.
You do realize it's just he moves too fast for his own body.
No, this is terrible.
He literally spills.
Listen, Suzanne, I need like a bunch of towels. Honest to God, I mean a bunch.
It's like, it doesn't even faze me anymore.
No, I don't.
Except when it hits me.
So this one says Nike get rid of it.
I'm telling you, they're going to get crushed because
expect to earn $4.50 share.
They all their distribution channels when they went direct with Amazon, okay, and this will all come out next month or next quarter. But what I'm saying is,
Mark, would you step over here with your socks and soak this up?
Here, want my shirt?
No, just use your socks.
Your socks are fine.
Because they're white.
How did the whole can?
I don't know.
It's like a child. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Did you spell? Do you need to know?
Ditties.
Mark makes fun of me
Like a
because
whole-
he claims I spill a lot.
Oh my dear.
God, the whole can. I know.
Suzanne, maybe
What another
you
kid?
delivered the paper and you knocked it over.
Of course. That's what he's
Now, Stephanie would say that is the Holy Spirit.
It is, or look what you're drinking.
That's right.
Go get you another one.
Well, eventually.
And did you spill on your equipment?
We're up, get on.
Oh.
What are you doing?
I'm just curious. Hi. Okay. Mark, you make fun of me because you say I spill every day.
Well, multiple times every. It doesn't even faze me anymore unless it hits me now.
My son is a spiller. I'm a spiller. I come from a long line of spillers and knocker-overs.
What did you spill this time?
Nothing.
Oh.
303-713-TALK, my water. 303-713-8255. Listen, Dennis is thinking about starting a business. The smartest thing you can do is do a lot of planning. First of all, what I'd like to do is take your questions and see what's on your mind, but there are some basic things we want to go over. So go ahead, sir.
So thank you, Tom. So one question we have is, we've identified a general location, and what we think we want to do is sublease a portion of a parking lot, but we would require water and sewer, and obviously a business license, and then a restaurant license. So,
okay, why? Let's just start at the beginning. Why that location? You say you identified it. Why? Did you do a traffic count?
We haven't done a traffic count, but we live in the area, and there is some historical traffic count data that we have seen.
And what about the area that you want to put this food kiosk? Is it a busy area, I'm asking?
It is. It is a busy area.
And what does the competition look like?
Almost non-existent.
Why wouldn't you? I'm just curious, why not a food truck that if the area sucks, you can literally drive away that day and set up somewhere else? Why a kiosk?
The thing that scares us about a food truck is apparently in the evenings you have to park them in some type of clean room environment, I believe.
Well, you mean by code?
I think so, yes.
Well, I don't know about that, but okay.
God, I've seen roach coaches parked anywhere.
No, I'm just talking. Regardless of that, I'm just wondering if Mark is usually pretty savvy at this stuff, and really a kiosk does tie you down, and the investment is going to be a lot of investment for something that ties you down if you're making that investment. Now, I would say if you're going into a retail space, that's different. But he's right in comparing a kiosk to a mobile unit. It's genius, but at the same time, you're worried about storage. That is a minor thing compared to, security and stuff at the kiosk. But let's just keep going with the kiosk thing. Okay, so now let's say that you have the location. You have to think, here's what I think. Now listen, from the outside in, look at everything in business as a target, okay? You got the outer rings and you have the bullseye. The bullseye is opening day, okay?
Okay.
Now, the outermost ring would be, of course, the location and access to the location, parking for the location, rules, regulations, and zoning. As you get into the circle, these rings get tighter. So, talk about access. Easy in and out for people to get?
It does seem to be, yes. There are some traffic lights on the busy street, and it does seem like...
Is there parking? Is there parking?
Yeah,
that's access. And then what about the business itself? What is it?
So it would basically be a drive-up coffee food kiosk.
Why would it? Okay, are there Starbucks around?
No.
Is there anything around?
There is a old-fashioned. There's a couple of fast food restaurants, and then there is let's say a rough competitor that's.
Okay. Cat Campbell, what comes to mind immediately? Rather than talk about structure and stuff, I mean, you can, but just his initial thoughts, what comes to mind?
Well, my first question is going to be, what kind of money do you have to invest in this?
What a great
how
question.
capitalized
Yeah,
are you?
that is a good question. Okay, so let's get to that bottom line. How much money do you have?
100.
Okay, and did you do a budget to see if 100 is enough? Because you want to be able to open and sustain yourself for at least, I like to see a year, but that's unrealistic for a lot of people, or 6 months. Do you have enough to keep everything paying and going, including yourself or help, for 6 months at least after build out?
Good question. I'm not sure about that yet.
So Kat brought up the number one thing, and let's put that down. Now this is in our target area. This is before you even get to the target. Kat's talking about before we even get to the target, you have to think about capitalization. So put that on your list, capitalization. That is probably one of the biggest mistakes people make. I made that mistake when I started referralist.com. I started it at least 25, 28 years ago before any other list was around anywhere. But because I was undercapitalized and a bit short-sighted, I did not go and own it. I did not own the space. So therefore, there are a ton of copycats who bought the market. They went out and they put millions and millions into marketing, and now they own the space, and I look like a copycat. Don't ever make that mistake. You have to be strong and be able to react to competition. So if this is a good kiosk idea, there also has to be a hook. Just an ordinary kiosk with ordinary coffee and ordinary food. Kat, can you speak to that as far as need? Capitalization is good, but feasibility.
Yeah, I would want you to have done a little market research. It sounds like you've got that on location. But where's your pricing? What kinds of normal, everyday costs are you going to have? Where's your commissary?
Right.
How much is that commissary going to cost you for
your
for
supply
the kiosk?
side?
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to prepare food there. I would imagine it would be more advantageous to use a commissary.
You probably are not going to prepare any food, right? You're probably just going to resell, right?
Yes, that'd be correct.
Okay, so did you look at supply side?
I have not yet, no.
Okay, so you obviously have not looked at the capitalization, feasibility, and supply side, but these are great things. So do you want a checklist, or do you have anything specific that you needed to ask?
I think just one specific question. How would I begin to craft a sublease agreement for part of the parking lot? How many years would I want to look at?
Okay, now Dennis, listen. It's a palette. It's like saying, am I going to paint a Rembrandt, or am I Schultz making a Peanuts character? So let me say something to you. First and foremost, you may not even be able to do that. The person who rents it may not be able to sublease it, and the developer may not allow it. So you have to find out who owns it. Do you know who owns it?
I do, yep. I actually spoke to him, and he was interested in chatting further.
Okay. The owner, does he lease that parking lot to a merchant?
Nope. There's a portion of the parking lot which is totally empty.
So you're lucky. This owner owns the whole place. What's there right now?
It's a restaurant, I would say, which is struggling.
Does he have an agreement in his lease not to allow other restaurants or food services?
Great question, not sure.
Well, I mean, because if he does, even if he lets you because he's hurting for money, you could end up in trouble because they could sue you based on that agreement.
This sounds like
it sounds like a dream. I know.
No, it sounds like the worst idea I've ever heard.
Why?
He's going to get a kiosk next to a failing restaurant in a parking lot.
Right.
It just spells disaster.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. At first blush, he's right. So let's
my question would be, why is that restaurant not doing well? If there's that much traffic, is it their product is better?
Why is the restaurant failing?
I would say that it's a great question. I don't know for sure.
It sounds like you haven't done any real homework at all. So you just is this just basically like a spur-of-the-moment idea or daydream?
We've been thinking about it for about 6 months.
Well, my God, you've done nothing. You haven't found out anything about why the restaurant there is failing and why, and if he has a non-compete clause, or why. I mean, you really have been slowly daydreaming, not thinking. Here's what I suggest you do. The very first thing is you better ask people, ask around, ask people, talk, find out why that restaurant is failing. I think Mark is right. I don't think it sounds like a good idea to be anchored to a parking lot where there's a failing restaurant. And I think a food truck, you can still park there. You literally could. You could park a food truck there and then move it if you had to. I mean, I just don't think you're thinking it through. It's that easy. We have a lot more to talk about. I'm sorry to say that.
A food truck runs about $50,000 that you can get up and running. Why you wouldn't do that, and you can go anywhere, and they're all the rage now.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that it's a short-sighted idea.
I almost got Suzanne. I'm not kidding. She wouldn't do it. I almost bought her a mini donut kiosk at the outlet malls, but she wouldn't work it.
Why is that?
I don't know. I kept asking her, why wouldn't you work it?
Yeah.
I didn't want to sell donuts from a cart.
Approval reverse mortgage. You heard that guy talking about reverse mortgages. I want to tell you something. There's nothing wrong with reverse mortgages if you are a candidate 62 or older and have equity. However, there are many cases where a reverse mortgage isn't wise. To find out if you're a candidate and if it's wise, I trust Joan Sullivan at approvalreverse.com. She and her team will tell you if it's a good idea, how it helps you, or how it could hurt you. She's the only one I trust, not to slam you into one, but to help you use it as a retirement tool. 303-771-3528, 771-3528, approvalreverse.com.
Mark, the guy he hasn't thought about this.
He's an idiot. No offense, he's an idiot. He might as well throw $100,000 out the window.
He really is.
But if you're going to do a kiosk, you could do a mobile kiosk, just like a little mobile thing that you can park.
Why wouldn't you go with a food truck model?
Well, I don't, like he had said, as far as the parking and where you keep it.
There's a ton of these little...
You just park it at commissary. You do your commissary
Sure,
work all
can
night.
you do that? Yeah.
What's that? There's a ton of these places now that are they're like breweries, but they don't have Marva. They don't sell food. So you go there. There's a bunch of people drinking beer there, and then the food trucks pull up.
So I like that.
Oh yeah.
And the food trucks are on. You go.
Here's one.
And slow down. You just wherever the action is. If there's a marathon,
and you tweet it,
you're selling water bottles out of it. I mean, do anything.
It's an old business model, and he hasn't thought it through. And that I always challenge all that because it's like, I'm going to save you $100,000 here by being a jerk.
You know what? We have a pretty big online audience that listens during the breaks, so that's good that you're saying this. Just say everything that you were thinking about because we get
a dream killer, but
so
we've had lots of clients we've tried to talk to.
What is the very first thing? Okay, I'm driving by. I'm thinking I'd like to have a restaurant kiosk or a little food kiosk. What's the first thing? What's the very first thing?
Do you have any money?
How much does it cost? Shit. So that's what she talked about, capitalization. Number one. Then what's number two?
Well, do you have a market? Is there a need?
Feasibility. Mine would be whoever is doing it. And
no, this is great because we're going to talk about this on the air too. And those listening, she says capitalization, feasibility. What's
feasibility,
next?
Whether you've got a market, is there a need for it?
I think feasibility.
And you can help build the business.
I think feasibility is first, then capitalization. Because if it's feasible, then you think about capitalization and maybe you can talk to me. I think feasibility comes first.
Yeah, you figure out how much is it going to run you, and then do you have that money, and do you have access to that money?
They'd be better off getting a hot dog cart and parking it next to the light rail station. I'm not kidding. They make a freaking fortune.
Right.
You know what the markup is in roller food? It's a shitload. There's nothing to it.
And then maybe not in coffee, like a breakfast sandwich and a coffee.
I do love fucking roller food. I do. I love a hot dog at a gas station.
There's only one kind of roller food.
No, they have hamburgers shaped like hot dogs. They cook on rollers.
Oh yeah,
sausages,
everything.
Sausages,
burritos, egg
chicken.
rolls. Yeah.
Mark, is it called roller?
I don't
know. It is. Well, look at it at the 7-Eleven. This is the way they brand it. Buy two roller foods and get a Coke for $5.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I love stupid roller food. There's nothing good about it though.
Well, no, Mark, there's nothing wrong with a hot dog.
No, nothing. I don't put it. I use just mustard.
I mean, I'm talking about a good, hot dog.
An all beef hot dog.
Are you editing the referral list as we speak?
Right now?
Oh,
Why?
it just changed.
What changed?
Well,
Oh, no, we changed the entire look Monday.
No, I know. I was just looking at my listing because there's a bunch of...
You mean it changed right now?
It just changed right now. Underscore, it said Daphne. I clicked on it, nothing. Then it said Mark Major. I clicked on it, it took me to your articles. Under what? That's what it looks like on the listings.
Well, I mean, nothing's being changed right now. There's no way. Daphne, well, I don't know. Daphne's on vacation. She has a laptop. I mean, anything's possible, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah. Why would you work on your vacation if you don't have to?
I'm going to send a video of how they make hot dogs to
Shut up. I only like the all-beef ones. Actually, the best hot dog out there for the money is Sam's Club or Costco.
Really?
Their dogs are unbelievable.
When I ate them...
All beef, kosher, the whole bit. Kosher. So it's not those ones that are made with tails and claws.
No, you want Hebrew
and
National.
beaks.
Yeah, Hebrew National's also.
Hebrew National.
You know, they bleed them out, they pray over them, then...
Hey, any meat that's been prayed over is my kind of meat.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with a good beak.
I pray this hot dog will taste good. I pray this hot dog will taste good. There's nothing like biting into a claw.
Oh, nasty.
It's called tan slime.
When I was a stock manager, when I was 17 years old at this grocery store, it was in Oklahoma, and they sold these pickled pig's feet that I'd almost puke putting them on the damn.
Absolutely.
And they would sell out like you've never seen in your life.
And it's an actual foot.
It's an actual pig's
You've
foot.
never had anything so delicious in your life.
You've had one? God bless.
What about
That was
tripe?
convincing.
Never had
Cow belly.
Sounds horrible. Oh, what's that Irish?
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. Okay, the first thing before a business starts at all, the very first thing, you're thinking about a business, the number one thing, feasibility. Okay, feasibility, what does that mean? Is there a market? Is it a good location? Is there a location? Do I have the energy? Will there be customers? What's the competition like? It all falls under feasibility, okay? That's the number one thing, feasibility.
And a big way to look at that is, am I buying a crappy job?
And people call it due diligence. Feasibility. Number two, according to Kat Campbell, Tower Financial Partners. She said feasibility, obviously, you know, if it's not a good idea, don't go any further, okay? Now, it is a good idea. It is a good market. It is a good place. Now, capitalization. That is the number two thing, of course, after you know it's a good idea. But, Kat, almost everyone skips that spot. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And a lot of people, like Mark said, they've bought themselves a great job that maybe has no salary because you didn't figure that
Or
into your
they're in
numbers.
debt. Worse, they're in debt. Now they have a
Exactly.
bad job and they're in debt.
Or they've risked their retirement.
Right.
Okay, this is my plan B. I'm done with my
Right.
great day job. I'm going on. I'm going to invest my retirement in this. And now you've gone from being an executive to selling hot dogs on rollers.
So listen, feasibility number one, number two, capitalization. We will go through the rest coming up, all right? Beth, what's going on with you? Hello, Beth.
Hello.
What's happening with you, Beth?
The last hailstorm we had, it damaged my roof, I guess, because I had somebody come out and look at it.
Well, yeah, most likely it did. Now, when you said you had somebody come out, how did that happen?
I kept thinking, and I thought...
No, so who did you call to come out?
Peakview.
Now, how did you find Peakview?
I had from a friend...
They're on a referral list. I know. If you went to the referral list, I was going to say thank you because they're great. Maybe your friend did. But here's the bottom line. The first thing you did right is you didn't wait for someone to knock on your door to make a decision. No one should ever, ever, ever let that be their buying decision. That doesn't mean everyone knocking on doors is bad, but what it means is if they knock on your door, you say to them, thank you very much, I will consider you, but I'm going to shop around, give me a business card.
I'd be upset if Peakview knocks on doors like that. They didn't come knocking on your door, did they?
No, but what I'm saying, Mark, is that I think that you have a higher risk of problems when people solicit you. and that bears out in the stats.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying they've been around so long, they're not door knockers.
No, they're not. So the other thing, Beth, though, and this is really important, is when you have people come, you never sign anything. These phony authorizations to get up on your roof and all of that, they're just tricky ways to get you into a contract. But let's skip all that, because you had Peakview come up, and Peakview is a good company. What happened? Because we're very interested. What happened?
Well, they did come over, and he checked the roof and so forth, and then he sat down with me and went over the contract.
Okay.
And actually, he got kind of upset because I was asking so many questions over and over again.
Now, that's odd that somebody get upset. Well, what do you mean you were asking over and over?
Well, I couldn't remember, you know. I guess my mind is not... I'm getting older. I'll put it that way. I'm getting older.
By the way, how old are you? Just out of curiosity.
67.
67. Well, come on. I mean, it's not like you're over...
Wow, that's old.
Well, you're kind of over the hill, but it's not like you're in the valley yet.
I'm kidding.
Now,
my
Beth...
mind is going.
Beth, listen. Let's get right to it. He was upset. Now, I'm very interested. They're on a referral list. Now, when you said upset, are you saying that they didn't raise their voice at you or anything, did they?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You hold on, and we'll come back to you. Beth wants to talk about an experience with a contractor, but I don't know where it's going, and I don't know what help she needs, but we'll certainly talk about it, especially because they are on referralist.com. We have that and more coming up. I'm Tom Martino. We have financial partners coming up, too.
This is weird. Look at this. So they do this deal with Amazon.
What deal?
Nike. They're selling direct, so they bypass all their merchants. But look, so here's Dick's Sporting Goods selling them for $39, free shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, same shoe, is $53.
What the fudge?
I mean, what is that?
And was Dick's on Amazon?
Maybe they're not selling direct yet. Let me see who's actually doing these. I forget on Amazon you can see who's fulfilling. Let me see.
So they were, what it said, they were filling people doing it. And
no, this is sold by a company called Gift Supplies.
Right.
This is not through Wardrobe yet. Okay. Yeah, correct. So this whole Nike deal, it must not have launched yet. It's the new model. Because I guarantee when they're selling Nikes will be cheaper on here than they are anywhere.
Probably.
You know, I went to Kohl's, tried these exact shoes on, found the size, make sure I liked them comfortable. Kohl's wanted $64 for these. I went on Amazon, $34.
Oh, yeah.
And I had them in 2 days.
Oh, it's...
Kohl's is going to disappear.
It's changing.
Oh, well, Amazon Wardrobe now, 15 items they send me. They don't charge my credit card. I try on what I want, send back. If I keep everything, they give me like a 20-25% discount.
Yep.
That's how I'll be doing it.
Yep, they're competing with the...
The only thing malls are going to be for is stupid little hooligans walking around making fun of people. Dan.
Gosh, you sound like an old, crotchety old man.
Damn hooligans.
That's where kids are going to go. I mean, that's where kids go. What's going to happen when they close? They'll be walking the streets.
Damn kids. Be hanging out at Walmart.
You're right, they already are.
Hanging out at Walmart.
We used to hang out in front of a convenience store, as weird as that sounds.
They still have those people.
Oh, no. You still get those.
Smoking cigarettes, hanging out in front of a convenience store. Tell me I wasn't a hooligan.
Throwing stuff at cars going on.
No, we didn't throw stuff at cars. Oh, man. We got caught looking into a strip bar one time that was near us in Jersey. About 4 of us, we were like 13, snuck over there. We're all looking through the window, and this guy comes out and literally snags us by our collars. We were terrified. Get out of here, you kids.
What are you doing there here? I thought you sold bubble gum.
Yeah. That was a seedy joint right off of the Black Horse Pike, too, man. This was not a normal strip bar. This was one of them, truck driver strip bars.
There's also the response from First Lady Melania Trump, who's promised...
You remember that guy, Neon John? Tom?
Yeah.
That guy was like, the one thing that drove me crazy about Neon John is he absolutely was one of these corn dogs that always wanted to go to a strip bar. It drove me nuts.
You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Increasing clouds today with a high of 56.
I know, market's tanking big time, man. I am so close to buying some of that Nike, man. I'm logged in. I'm
Buying or selling?
Well, no, I'd be buying it short.
Right.
I'd be short.
You know, I need a contractor who knows how to screw steel paneling, you know, like corrugated steel, into steel beams.
You know that homeless guy that we seen yesterday?
Oh, we met the perfect guy for you yesterday.
You just gotta
Can he live where he's doing it while he's working there?
She's probably upside down right now.
She's probably not only upside down, she's literally got the guy that he was renting to. Remember that part of it?
Well, he admitted he was paying rent, because we need that for everything.
Yeah, no, he admits everything.
No, I need that.
The guy owes him money, but he's the guy. He's the homeless guy. He's the guy now
doing the work.
That's doing the work on her house. But he's also the guy that was doing the siding. You want to hear what he did for siding? This is going to blow you away. Yeah, I saw it for myself, too. The other guy, the real bad guy, told this homeless guy that's now working for him to grab the siding off the back of the house and put it on the front where they need it.
And then what?
So he literally
and then what?
That's what he did.
Because they couldn't see it, the damage in the back as much.
Oh, come on, you're lying.
I swear to God,
absolutely
we saw it.
We got to tell this story.
They created the gutters out of what? What was that made out of?
No, it was
like PVC or something?
No, it was for PVC, for gutters, but it was just the downspout. That wasn't a big deal.
It was like cut with the
But literally, they masked the roof. Yeah, but they just so they could put it in there and on the down thing. But the decking, they stopped halfway through the decking.
Oh, there's these big chunks.
Because they ran out of decking, and the rest of it wasn't decking. And you can see it on the roof.
It is so bad. And now she has literally this homeless guy building the stairs inside the damn house.
Out the back, yeah.
I don't even know why she doesn't walk away from that entire thing right now. Her biggest problem, though, is he's going to have a judgment against her, so he will have a default judgment against her.
And nothing that is sealed. There's like no flashing around the chimney and all the pipes and stuff, so when it rains, it comes through the house.
I think we'll have Kranek involved, though, to at least answer, and then I think the game of chicken will stop. But this guy, I mean, he has to be the worst contractor.
Yep. No, he knows. He's played the game before.
Here's what he did, Kat. He actually, this was a rental unit, while she's out of town, he's renting it out to basically homeless people.
Snap.
But if you saw the place, it's like one step above a shack. It's not even a step above a shack, honest to God.
Yeah, it's a shack. But he lived in the basement. You imagine what the basement was like?
I wasn't going down there. No way, man.
Oh, come on.
Oh, it was seriously.
Big kitty cat.
Oh, my God.
It was.
She's just a glutton for punishment, though. I mean, she literally, it's a homeless guy from, where was he from? Georgia?
Texas. I thought he was Texas. I think it was Texas.
Well, he's not homeless now. He's got her home.
I'm just thinking.
But he's working to stay there. That's part of his payment to stay there. Sure.
God, you can't imagine some of the stuff we deal with. The whole part that he was renting it was just like, I'm flabbergasted.
So it was vinyl siding, so he took a piece of vinyl siding from the back and put it on the front because he said, well, the owner won't see it then.
You're lying.
Absolutely not. They showed it to...
It can't be.
He
admitted he did it.
He admitted he did it.
The homeless guy was the guy telling us that's what he had him do, and showed us.
Yeah. So he said, it's not my fault.
He took siding off the back and put it on the mark. It's really amazing.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. We are talking about your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Don't we all just want to get along and be happy? We want to thrive too, don't we? And we want relevance. Of course we do. And that's what this show gives you, the ultimate relevance, because we will get involved and help you and fight alongside you. I mean, why do we do it? Well, it's easy. It's great radio. It's a great way to conduct a business. It's a great way to advertise people who help people. It's just a win-win situation. So you call us, we help you, you tell people, more people get involved. It's great. And I've been doing it for 40 years in Denver, and almost, and we are having a great time. So please get involved. And also, you know, if you hear about a bad guy, spread the word. It's really important. And of course, spread the word about good guys. We have Beth, who we left off with, we'll get back to. And I also want to tell you about our guest, Kat Campbell. Caitlin, she's with Tower Financial Partners, who do business services of all kinds, consulting and management services, whether or not it's accounting or operationally or with taxes and tax planning. They are basically your business partner, and they can do any one of these functions for you. They can help you job it out. They can help you evaluate contracts, or they can teach you how to do it. If you're starting a business, give us a call, or in business and you need help, give us a call, and we'd love to talk to you. Beth, okay, you had some hail damage. I want to speed this up a bit. You had some hail damage. You had a guy come over who you thought was losing a little patience, and you found a roofer, and that roofer is on our referral list. It's Peakview. What happened then? Let's get right to that, Beth. Where's the problem? We need to help you. What's the problem?
Yes, he talked to me and he got me to sign, which actually he said, I think he said that it was the contract.
Okay.
But actually, I guess it's not. And he's still saying that it's the contract, that I signed the contract.
Well,
and
Beth, I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is or not. So you said your mind isn't like it used to be, and I don't know what you mean by that. Is it a contract or isn't it? What does it say on the piece of paper? Does it say it's a contract?
It says notice of right to cancel after the roofing is completed, and then it has words, you know.
Okay.
And then on the next page it has the contract agreement.
Okay.
But actually,
he wanted you to know about the 3-day right to cancel.
They actually go over the 3-day right in every other part of exactly what happens when they meet with the client.
Yeah, that's on page 1 instead of page 3. But Beth, I haven't heard the problem yet. What's going on? Let's help you. What's happening? What went wrong?
Well, I decided that I didn't want them. I found another contractor that was cheaper. So, and I want him to do it, but they say I can't because I signed a contract with them. I have to stick to my contract.
Okay,
did they do any work on it yet or anything?
No, they have not done any work.
Just hold on. First of all, I need to know something, and again, it's none of my business, but I think if they haven't lost a dime on this, there should be no reason to let you out. But they are right. I mean, technically, you did sign a contract. And I'm talking about anybody. You sign a contract, and you decide you don't want them. So, but why do you feel that? Why do you feel there's nothing wrong with that? I mean, let's talk from a strict contract view. You signed a contract and changed your mind. How much cheaper is the other place?
Well, I don't know exactly for sure.
And who is the other place?
K&P Exteriors.
And how did you find them?
Through another friend.
And they said, well, and why, if you had Peakview come over and bid the job and you signed a contract, why did you have another company come over? I'm more curious than anything. What happened?
Because I didn't feel comfortable. He was pressuring me to try to pay him something and so forth, and I was not going to give him no money at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But they, unless if it's a deductible, they don't get any money. I don't understand any of this now. Let's reach out to Peakview. We've got to get the other side to this.
It doesn't sound like Peakview to us, Beth, but in any case, if they didn't order roofing, and if they didn't do anything at all, if truly they didn't lose any money, I mean, I don't know how much time they spent with you, but, Beth, I wouldn't want to do a roof for you. I'll tell you the truth, Beth. I wouldn't want to do a roof for you because you sound confused, and frankly, you know, you signed a contract and said you changed your mind. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. You can take advantage of a company like that, but don't make it sound like they're doing anything wrong.
he didn't explain himself very clearly.
Well, he should have. He should have. But I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, Beth. But you're clearly uncomfortable. And the other company made you feel better, but you don't even know how much cheaper the other company is.
Well, he put some extra things in there which actually didn't cover my insurance.
What do you mean?
What I liked about him. And
the other guy put extra stuff in there. What do you mean?
A couple extra things.
Like you mean that he was going to do free?
Like my gutters, and he put the ice and
water dam.
Yeah.
Okay, Beth, somebody came and sold you a job. Somebody you like better. I understand that.
Explained it a lot better.
I understand that completely. You feel better about the second contractor. I clearly understand. Now, what about your deductible?
It's $1,000 deductible
on both jobs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I told him. I told the first one. I said, I can't pay you any extra money.
Well, who wanted extra? What do you mean? Who wanted extra money?
The first guy that did me the contract.
What did he want?
Acted like he wanted extra money.
He acted like it. Did he ask for extra money?
It sounded like he did.
Okay. It sounded like he did. Okay. Clearly, Beth is confused. It sounded like he wanted extra money, although he didn't ask for it.
I'll call PQ. They probably don't want anything to do with this.
I would highly recommend that they do not do this roof. Honest to God, I would highly recommend
They wouldn't hold her to this anyhow, unless they've already done the roof or something along those lines.
There's something really, really amiss here, truly. I mean, there is. And so, Beth, however, there is a lesson to be learned. Somebody made her feel better, and she wanted to go with that company.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure that that won't happen again.
You know, she didn't feel good about the first company, right, Beth? And you felt better when the second guy left, right?
Right.
Okay. Did you sign a contract with the second guy?
No, I have not.
Okay, so listen. So listen, if a third person came, would you want to get a third bid or not?
No.
Because
I'm happy with the second one right
Because
here.
they made you feel so good, right?
Right.
Do you hear this? This is what it's all about. She can't even put her finger on it, but she knows how she felt. You know, and that is a lesson for all of us. Kat, how many times does that happen? When you go to a company, it's not even what they do. It has nothing to do with their skill. Have you ever identified in a sales process, do you help people with that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's relationship. Did you make a connection with the person, and are you bringing value to their problem?
I'd like to know.
Am I selling you something?
I would like to know the sales. I think Peakview would love to hear this feedback from Beth. I think they'd love it. And if they didn't hear it, let them listen to the podcast. I think it's wonderful feedback.
And Beth may have been confused. It is confusing to go over things with people when they're not familiar with your jargon and they're not familiar with the process, and you are. So they may have, not fully explained certain terms, like the 3-day right to rescind if it was signed in the home.
She knows exactly how she feels. She doesn't have to know a thing about roofing. She knows how she feels. Sean, what's going on with you, Sean?
Hi, Tom. Thank you for taking my call.
What's happening?
I'll try to make this as easy as possible. I did a bankruptcy back in 2011. Everything was discharged, and come today, credit score is fine, everything's great. I go get a mortgage to buy a new home, and they find out that when I went bankrupt, the previous mortgage company for my residence that I went bankrupt on never took possession of the title of deed.
Of course not.
So,
they don't. They probably, most of them don't. So let me ask you this, Sean. When you went bankrupt in 2011, did you move out? That's an easy question, Sean. Did you move out?
No, I did not move out.
You stayed there. Did you make payments?
Yes.
You kept making your mortgage payments?
Yes, I did.
For how long?
Up until I'm still paying it now.
Oh, you're in the house?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I just never reaffirmed the mortgage, nothing like that.
And that's smart not to. If you're going to go bankrupt and take the pain of a bankruptcy, there is no reason to reaffirm it because it's gotten you out of personal liability. Right. And in the future, if real estate took a dump and you were in trouble, they can never come back after you again once you have done this, if you did not reaffirm it. But my question to you is, Sean, you sounded like you were surprised. You said they never took possession of the loan or the house. Of course they didn't. The only time... Go ahead.
Sorry, what I mean is that they never took possession of the deed back. You know how, like, when you go bankrupt?
They never do, Sean. They never do. The only time they would take possession of the deed is if you defaulted and stop making the payments. But if you keep making the payments, they don't come in and take your home.
Okay, because that's what was my question, because I got a loan through for a new mortgage to buy a home.
Good.
And they said, oh, by the way, you still have this, but they never took the the deed back when I went bankrupt, so it muddies the waters for me to continue with the new mortgage.
Sean, how does it muddy the waters? Let me ask you this. Had they taken the deed back, what would you have done differently? Think about that, and I'll ask you, because I have no idea what you have done differently. You still would have been in the house. You still have to move, but that is a good question to examine. One Clear Choice garage doors. You might want them, Sean, in your new house. Who knows? They have a wonderful company, really. Free inspections if you mention Martino. So if you move in, you're moving out, you want to know about your garage, or you just have a question. Free tune-ups, inspections, adjustments, safety adjustments, hinge bolt tightening, and all of that free just to put the sticker on there. And, of course, they have garage doors fully Wi-Fi compatible, battery backup and all that, starting at $299, 303-565-6409, 303-565-6409, oneclearchoicedoors.com.
I'd like to know what people would make her feel bad.
When she came on at the end of yesterday.
Talk about that now.
Oh, you want to come out here and talk about it?
Oh, by the way,
Dan, come here.
that went up yesterday.
Yeah.
Dan will tell you.
Construction slowing the drive up on the north end, southbound I-25, slow between Northwest Parkway and 136. And off highway, northbound Sheridan is still closed between 80th and 84th due to a power line being down.
It's interesting the way
the weather forecast.
New list looks.
The what?
The way the new list looks.
Do you like it?
Yes and no. I don't like that it says Daphne under my name. And then
Let me see what you're talking about. It shouldn't say that. Oh, I think I know what you're saying because she edited it last time. No, that's supposed to be fixed. I've already told them I didn't
Listen,
want
I got to tell you, Mark, come here for a second.
It's the author.
Dan, come here for a second.
In Kohl's cash right now through the 4th of July, only at Kohl's. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
When it comes to servicing your car, let's go right to the heart of the matter. Al Aramis. He's the owner of Pro Auto Care for 25 years, and they give a 36,000-mile warranty complete with roadside assistance to each and every customer. You'll also get reminders when your service intervals are due. I love them. I use them. You should too. Denver and Littleton. 303-PRO-AUTO. That's 303-PRO-AUTO or 303-PROAUTO.com. I can't believe how clean my carpets are. Can't believe I got it all done without any soaps, harsh chemicals, or detergents. Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martin.
Chris.
I use Zero Red.
It's PR, Dan. But that's what happened. That's why they missed it yesterday. That's the call.
It's good PR.
Just $124.
Plus, they need to come on.
No, I'm talking about it's good PR, though, not just to solve a problem, but to have people talk about it.
471-5150.
There's always something to be learned by complaints, always.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You need to pay attention to that more than anything else.
If you sell a $400,000 house and the agent charges you 6%, that'll cost you $24,000 for just a few days.
I had another timeshare one just come in.
There's a much better way. On a $400,000 sale, you would save $10,300.
Okay, did you pull it up?
Oh, yeah, it's up. So, the thing is it's a live link hosted by Daphne.
No, so he's going to get rid of that. I already know that. In fact, I talked to him 2 nights ago about that.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's there. I know why it's there because she offered the changes.
Right. I like that they switch and it randomly generates who's up first, second, third.
Always, but if you go to Colorado Springs, I think you're the only.
There's nothing to pay back.
Go all the way up, and then go to home. If you were in Colorado Springs, it should go to Colorado Springs. but now hit view Colorado Springs, and now you're in Colorado Springs mode.
Right.
And now just type in tower.
Well, that's only going to show me.
Or, you know, accountant, or, you know, whatever it is. I forget everything you're under.
No, everybody shows up.
Oh, he's got to fix that then.
Yeah, all your accounting.
Go back up. Are we sure we're in?
Yeah, you're in Colorado Springs.
Thank you for finding that. I'll look at it over
Professional Service Accountants Tax Prep.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And now over here, look, it's got your name.
Yeah, I understand that part.
But so
that's
it is
because I was in
going
there
to-
last time.
Right. But if I click your name, it goes to articles you've got posted.
Yeah, because it's looking
has
at
nothing
it's
to
looking
do-
at your listing as purely an article, because that's
Right.
really what it is.
Right. Oh, yeah. Just that's the way that and I can provide blogs or stuff if you need stuff like that.
$500. 303-619-6273.
Well, when Troubleshooter launches in about a week, yes, we will be getting blogs from people. Absolutely. Let's see. I did not even. I'm glad you showed me that. I didn't.
And then
even
it's got
think.
2 different Denver addresses for me in 2 different places, and so I've got to get that cleaned up too.
Yeah, just send me whatever changes you want on it.
Well, I need all the Denver stuff taken off right now. I'm getting ready to pull the trigger on another space.
Oh, you mean the address?
Yeah, because it's got the 8301 East Prentice, and then it's also got our temporary space that's at Greenwich Fiddler's Green. And so it's got one on contact and one on location. It's not even 16.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh, and it's Catlin, not Caitlin.
I always say that.
I know, you
always
gotta
say
write
I'm-
it, Cat. It's the only way.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Kat Campbell with Tower Financial Partners to answer business questions. We've had a few, and we're going to go to Kayleen in a minute. But Sean has this mortgage question. Sean did a bankruptcy in 2011. When he did it, he did not affirm his loan, but he kept making his payments. He stayed in the house. He's ready now to buy another house. But he said he found out that the house is still in his name, and during the bankruptcy was never transferred to the lender. And that's par for the course. That usually happens. And he made it sound like that was unusual. I think he was a bit confused and thought that the house would be taken out of his name. But how does that affect you in any way, shape, or form? What were you planning to do? Let's say the house was in the lender's name. What were you planning to do? You still can. You still can, Sean. Did you hear what I said? You know why you still can? Because you are no longer personally responsible for that home because you put it in the bankruptcy. But here's the other thing you may want to consider, Sean. And I want you to complete your thought on that other thing. But here's another thing to consider. You might have equity. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. What did you want to say?
Bankruptcy.
Uh-oh.
So they're claiming that I'm still on the hook for it. Even though if you pull my credit reports, doesn't matter who it is, Experian,
Hold on.
Equifax, whatever.
We need to get Wink and Wink.
I missed that part. What did he say?
He's saying that the bank is claiming they've never were notified of the bankruptcy. He's still on it. They were not included in the bankruptcy. Hold on, Sean. Red alert. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sean, bro, you should have started with that one, man. That's the biggest problem. That's the one we can help you with. Hold on, all right?
Thank you.
Wow. Kayleen wants to start a business. Let's talk to Kat as in Catlin, not Caitlin. It's Catlin, which I don't understand, but that is it. I like Kat better. I love the name Kat.
Your mother punished you.
Kayleen,
My mother did. It's Welsh pronunciation.
You want to start a business. Go ahead. What are your questions?
Hey, guys. I'm looking to start a little side hustle. My fiance works for a GC who goes into Wash Park, tears down these little bungalows, builds these, $1.2 million contemporary homes.
Aren't they beautiful?
He's a scraper.
They're gorgeous.
I don't mean the houses necessarily. I mean, isn't this business model beautiful? And you can only do it in Denver like this.
And it's great for the community.
It's really amazing. And so what he's been doing, my fiance, has been salvaging these windows and these doors out of these old homes. And he made me a beautiful shadow box out of one of them where I can, display my little tchotchkes, and I get lots of compliments on it when guests visit my home, and I'm thinking, I'm getting these, we can get these windows for free, putting like $10, $15 worth of material into them to create shelves. Why can't I turn around and sell these? My concern is lead paint, because chances are there's multiple layers of paint on these windows. What liability do I have in reselling these refurbished products? Do I need to notify the seller? Do I have to have them tested?
No, notify the seller. What do you mean?
I think she meant buyer.
Notify the buyer. If I go to,
No, why? If you take these out of an old home, you don't have to do anything. I mean, but what makes you think? Now, I personally would want to know if there's lead in there before I start grinding on it and all that. But a lead test is easy peasy. You can get a do-it-yourself lead test. That's the only thing you have to worry about. And I don't know if you'd come across asbestos, but unless you use the ceiling tile, right, Kat? Yeah, she wouldn't come across asbestos.
No.
So what is your question for our business expert?
So do I have to put some sort of notice on my windows, if I'm trying to sell them as these shadow boxes, may contain lead paint?
That wouldn't be a bad idea, especially if you're on a place like Etsy where people really are looking for that handcrafted thing. And you could have that disclaimer that, while all mitigation has been done, trace amounts of lead paint may be still there, or you may, like Tom said, just want to test that, and then it's not there.
Right. And I wouldn't even bring up the lead thing. If it's lead, just forget it or do the mitigation your own, but don't mention it like it's been lead tested or anything. And then when it comes to the handmade thing, brag, brag, brag. I would even have photographs of the house it came out of, or the raw materials, and then the finish, and then you guys working on it, and then the finished product. That's what I would have.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, just like when they have pictures, when they take something from a historic rocket ship or airplane, and you buy a little tiny thing that's in a ring or a pendant, they have little photographs that give it history. That's what I would do. And I would name the piece based on, if it was 24 Washington or whatever. I would just give it some character and give it some steez. Just give it some, just that touch. That it's not just a trinket, or it's not just a piece of furniture or decor. It's something special.
Well, and that type of branding is going to attract a certain type of person who's looking for that historical, and if you can get the history of the house, and this came out of a house built in 1925, and da-da-da-da-da, we call it and you give
that's all the value right there.
And I would give the brand a name, and then each piece a name. So the brand I would get, I'm not saying, but pieces, famous pieces or.
The wood that I use in the shelving is the beetle pine kill. So I was thinking beetle pine designs or something.
Yeah, something like that, but something that maybe ties it to, that and Denver, and then give the name of the piece something too, so they feel like it's a piece. It's not just a sofa. It's a piece of art almost. Yes.
And there are some great websites out there that you can use for naming and putting in those keywords and trying to play around with
What
those.
website?
Well, there's one for websites specifically called nameboy.com, and you can put the keywords that you want in your website name, and it'll give you everything that's available and can you buy it, is it
very
.net,
cool.
.com, things like
and
that.
And Kayleen, I want to urge you seriously to call Kat, and I mean that, because if you're looking for advice, she won't charge for an initial consultation. She can tell you what she can do for you, and it may be a fit or not. 719-357-8824. Just look for Tower Financial Partners. Look for them at referralist.com. Now, Gigi Wink is on the line. I want to get to this before break because it's very important. Gigi was with us yesterday from Wink & Wink. They're bankruptcy attorneys. They are experts at debt settlement and Chapter 13 and Chapter 7. And I got to tell you, Gigi, Sean has a very serious problem. I'll bring him up right now, but I'm going to sum it up for him.
Okay.
He did a bankruptcy in 2011 and stayed in the house, did not reaffirm the mortgage. He's been making his payments. He's been making his payments dutifully, okay?
Okay.
Now, he still doesn't have equity in the home, but he found a new home and was even approved for a mortgage.
Wow.
Right? Okay, there's nothing wrong. 4 years later, he's approved, right? Yeah. Now, here's the rub. He has no equity. Now, he doesn't know if he can sell it or not, but he wanted to say to the lender, thank you very much. Here are your keys. Goodbye. Now, let's just say he could sell it. That's a whole different ballgame. But let's say, for argument's sake, he does that and he walks away. Theoretically, because he filed bankruptcy, included it in the bankruptcy, he has no personal obligation, right?
True, yes.
They can't come after him for a deficiency or anything, can they?
No.
Okay, but here's the big but. Oh, I shouldn't say that when talking to someone. Here's what it is, Gigi. They claim they were not included in the bankruptcy, and he's on the hook. Uh-oh, what do we do?
What? Well, let's first look up the bankruptcy and see if that's accurate.
Can we find that out in a matter of minutes?
Hey, I just thought
Okay, hold on.
What did he say on his credit report? They said if he goes on his credit report, is the bank reporting the mortgage or not?
No.
I mean, no.
Well, then they must have had it if they're not reporting.
You know what? Hold on. Mark brings up a good point. That's evidence, but it's not, that's only circumstantial, Mark. The fact they didn't report to a credit bureau. Sean, what state was your bankruptcy in?
Massachusetts.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Okay, let me get into there.
Now, hold on. We're going to take a break, and we're going to have her look up. Get his case number, Suzanne. We're going to have Gigi look it up, and it's a matter of record. Either it's there or it's not. If you're looking for a beautiful smile, Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. Why do cosmetic dentistry when for a lesser price and a better value, you can do cosmetic dentistry that also improves your health? It's less expensive than veneers and will truly fix the problem, not just cover it up. You don't have to spend $50,000 in veneers, or you don't have to...
How long ago was it? She forgot that they already let her out. That's basically what he said.
He says they didn't go over to her and say, okay, you're out of it.
I believe them. Oh, I do too, 100%. I asked him, you heard me ask him yesterday.
They're good. And not only that is...
He's got a cool hat.
They work directly with the insurance company, so all they pay is the deductible. They take care of anything, get the best job done. Exactly like we would want a roofer.
That's why Mark was so intent. He had met with them and knew them. He knew they were good guys.
Yeah, that's what I already knew it was there. I do feel bad for her, though. I wonder if we called her back right now, she would know she even talked to us.
So, how do you feel? Are you confident
yesterday?
Your retirement savings will last throughout your retirement years?
No, I'm saying if she really forgot that they've already been through this and they've let her out, I wonder how bad her memory is what I'm asking.
To show you what you can spend with confidence while you maintain your lifestyle and follow your retirement goals.
Any company that wants to do business with somebody that doesn't want to do business with them is crazy. Right. Holding someone to that contract. Now, if they already did it or something, now it's a whole different story.
Like your friend with Interstate?
God, Interstate. Jesus.
So what did they do wrong is the question.
Here's the biggest problem with Interstate. You know how much money they got? A total of, what did we calculate, 4,000? He got a total of 4,000 total.
Is that what it was?
She gave him $2,400 the deductible and one insurance check for $1,000 and change.
Who's this?
This house we went to yesterday.
Oh no, that's different. I'm talking Interstate. The guy that called that wants, said no, I want the gutters also put on. Truck driver.
Oh my God! So I negotiated a $17,000 settlement for a referralist member. Okay. The consumer decided he didn't like it still. Yeah. They sued him. Now they want $32,000, and I got to tell you, I'm on their side.
Who wants it?
The consumer never paid one of our roofers.
Who won?
The roofer's going to win. There's no doubt about it.
Why did they want out? No. Why did the consumer contest it?
He just never paid them. He said, I want different gutters after the roof was done.
Okay, so
but he never paid him for the roof.
No, I understand. He never paid, and he expected to get it free, Mark.
It was $32,000. I talked to them, and they said, you know what? We just want this done. It's a huge roofing company. Huge, nationwide. They're on a referral list, though, Interstate.
Yeah.
So they put down, he goes, you know what? it cost us more just to not get this settled. He goes, we'll go ahead and we'll take 17 right now. I bring it. They needed 32.
What did they think they were going to get? What did the consumers think they were going to have?
He told me, he goes, well, I don't even know about 17. My neighbor said someone else could have done the whole thing for whatever. So they knocked this off. But here's where it gets even better. So he goes, well, I'll tell you what. Tell them I'll go ahead and take that, but they need to redo all this other stuff first. And I said, you know what? I'm done with it here. Okay? So then the guy calls me yesterday, out of the blue. I haven't talked to this guy for a year. Now he's begging to have that $17,000 offer back because now they're suing him for $32,000 plus attorney's fees plus everything else.
I can't stand when they hold businesses hostage for no reason.
I was like,
it's just not fair.
It was an total insurance company job. So the guy literally was they were only going to take $17,000 out of 32 the insurance company paid. It wasn't even a cash ticket. He wanted the whole job free. Not only did he want $15,000 left in his pocket, but he wanted the rest of it free.
So filtration.
God, man, some people, I hate to say it, he basically deserves what happened.
And he's a slow talker.
As a client, this industry is riddled with liars and ripoffs, and I wanted someone who was pure water choices. We have a master plumber who is the boss, and he knows water, and he knows the systems that can filter your water without a lot of hocus pocus. They have all kinds of choices, but the important thing is that they're honest choices.
Yeah, we need to get to him soon.
Choices.com.
I sent it to the marketing guy.
7818 720-219.
No, the credit card expiration.
Oh.
Whether it's
that's why I will call credit card and give you a call.
on 6:30.
No, because they had the expiration date. It was 5/19. Okay.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
Welcome. Kat Campbell's with us from Tower Financial Partners. Now, we have a lot to talk about. We're helping people all the time. We asked Gigi to find out about this bankruptcy. The guy said he declared bankruptcy in 2011 in Massachusetts. He's been making his payments since. And you can do that in a bankruptcy. Even though you don't reaffirm the mortgage, you can still make payments and live there and then walk away if you have to, or sell it when it comes time to sell if you want to, but you can never be held liable for it once it's declared in your bankruptcy. They claim, no, sir, you're tied to this. You never claimed us in the bankruptcy. You're still on the hook. Wow. So we asked Gigi Wink to check, and Sean, you gave us your case number, and she was going to look it up for us. Let's find out what she found out. Gigi, did he include it in the filing or not?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Chase Home Finance.
Can they claim? Yep. Can they claim that they did not know it and they weren't notified, even though it's in the filing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the address used, I also Googled that. It looks like it was a valid address for Chase. It comes up as a Chase.
Plus, they're not reporting it, so we know they were notified somehow.
What do we do, Gigi? He's going to move here. He's going to buy this house. He's going to walk away, and I don't blame him now. He took the pain in 2011. So now, when they come after him, they'll sue him out here.
I doubt they'll sue him. He's probably talking to someone who doesn't know nothing about nothing. You know,
they don't know nothing about nothing.
Boy, if they did try to sue him, they're breaking some laws.
Did you hear our esteemed attorney, Sean? They don't know nothing about nothing.
So here's the thing. They're going to have to foreclose, or he could approach them about a deed in lieu of foreclosure to try to make it quick and hopefully...
I wouldn't. I'd just leave the keys and leave after that crap they're trying to pull.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I'd be nice about it, though. But here's what you do, Sean. You should write to them. I would even literally... do you have your original bankruptcy attorney?
No.
Okay. I would hire an attorney, and I mean this sincerely, even Gigi or something. And they don't need the business like that, I mean, for a letter. But I would have them write a letter saying, I'm a bankruptcy attorney, blah, blah, blah. I represent so-and-so. Here is his filing. you know, any further attempt to collect this debt would be considered, what is it, Gigi? What is it considered when they try to come after you after a bankruptcy?
It would be violation of the discharge order.
Okay, so there you go, Sean. That's what I would do. Write them a letter and then say, where do I deliver the keys? Or let's do a deed in lieu of foreclosure and get that thing over with.
And that's a big penalty on a bank.
Yup, big. Wink and wink. 303-410-1720. Okay, there was another serious problem. Beth called, and listen, I'm not making fun of Beth. Beth, by her own admission, is confused. She said she had somebody come over from Peak View Roofing. By the way, they're a brand new member of the referral list, and they just went up yesterday. We talked to this guy at length. I remember meeting him. Mark brought that to my attention. That I just met him yesterday. Anyway, she said somebody went to her home and sold her a roof from Peakview. She felt pressured, she said, and she said she felt like they were asking for extra money, although they never asked for an extra dime. They never take money up front because they get paid by insurance, right, Mark?
Only the check from the insurance company.
Right.
The deductible is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Is it deductible or the check? Whatever it is. They don't have penalties. They don't want to hold people hostage. And if they don't invest in a job, in other words, spend money on a job, they walk away. And they thought Beth was a bit confused. They did. And when she called them to get out of the contract, Chris, you guys, what did you tell her? Chris is with, and I pronounce your name Schlumpf?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What did you tell Beth? I mean, it sounds like you guys do everything right. So what did you tell her?
Well, we told Beth, first of all, that we had gone to the insurance company to supplement the claim on her behalf and had done that and just wanted to make sure, because I know she, you know, we sat together for a long time reviewing her contract and all of the details of it. And so I wanted to make sure she knew, first of all, that she was talking to us.
Sure.
And second of all, that she really didn't want to get the work done anymore, because when I met with her, she was very sure that she wanted to do the work.
Okay.
As the insurance had prescribed it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we asked her, are you sure? And she said yes, she did. So you know, she's kind of like a grandma to me. So I went by her house to ask her about it. I reviewed with her again. Okay, so we have got your gutters all paid for. We got your window wells covered that were not covered in the claim. You've got an additional check coming. And I asked her this standing on her front porch, do you want to get the work done? And she said, yes, I do.
And then she canceled, though. You remember her canceling after that.
No, that was actually, yes, that's right.
Okay.
She did call to cancel after that. We said, hey, we're not, you know, interested in holding anyone hostage. You know, we only want to do business with people that want to do business with us, as we walk a straight line.
So what happened? So you did she get the wrong impression?
I can't tell you, Tom. I'm not sure. There's been several things that she and I have discussed over the course of this process that the next time I spoke to her, she either didn't remember or I'm not sure what happened. So I'm not sure, but Tom, the bottom line is, you know, we don't want to do business with anyone who doesn't want to do business with us.
And that's what we thought, Chris, and I really appreciate that. Peak View Roofing. He said, listen, Beth, they let you out as soon as you called, and they made that clear to you, they thought. Now, Beth, I'm sorry you got the impression they were trying to hold you to the contract, but they said... And based on the references we've checked, it sounded weird to us. But listen, just so you know, you're not held to that contract. Is that okay? Beth?
Yeah. What you say? Hello?
You can't write this.
Okay, Beth. Well, what I wanted to tell you is we called Peakview, and they said you must have been under the impression that they did not cancel, and they did, and they said they're not going to hold you to it. They're not going to make you do business with them, and they thought they made that clear to you.
Okay, that's fine. I can go with the other one then?
God bless them, you can.
Okay, without having to pay any money or anything, right?
That's right. And just so you know, Beth, it's Peakview Roofing that got the gutters included on a supplemental claim, just so you know. And and so these guys, I mean, you know, I mean that's okay to go with the second company if you want to, but just be careful. Beth, do you have any friends or relatives that can help you in like contracts and stuff in the future?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I do.
Now, I'm not suggesting at all that you're incompetent, but it's always best to get some help when things like this come up, okay?
Okay.
So,
well, see, they made it sound like that they weren't going to cancel or anything, and I hadn't done anything.
Okay. Well, that's not the case. They're saying that's fine, okay? That they're a good company. They don't want to hold you to it, okay?
Okay, well, thank you very much for your help.
Okay,
God
Beth.
bless you.
I got to bring something up real quick.
I want to give out Peakview's number. They're good people.
They're great people.
719-593-0580. What?
So people to understand behind the scenes, Chris happened to be in our office yesterday.
Yeah.
You met him.
Yeah.
But the funny part was, while I'm talking to him, one of the first questions I asked him, he said, hey, we want to join, blah, blah, blah. One of the first questions was the exact scenario here. I said, if you guys don't deliver stuff, you haven't ordered stuff, you don't take money up front, are you going to let him out of the contract? And he said, of course we would. Now, so that's one of the first questions I asked the roofer coming on.
Now, let me make this clear. For every roofer and every contractor out there, so I am not misunderstood. It is not a requirement of me, Tom Martino, nor do I feel someone is unethical or bad if they hold people to a contract. If you're working your ass off, you go to someone's home and you sign a fair contract with them, and you give them the 3-day right to rescind because it's written in the home. That's the only time, okay? Not all contracts are rescindable. I just want to make it clear. Okay, so then you give them that 3-day right to rescind. They don't take you up on it. They keep the contract in force, and then a month later or weeks later, they decide they change their mind. I am telling you, I don't want any confusion. I don't want people saying in the future, well, you made them do no. You have a contract. Okay? And I am not requiring anyone to do a cancellation because someone changed their mind. Okay? However, because it takes work to go out and meet people. You guys work your butts off, and you gals, you have to sign contracts, you have to answer questions, you have to take your time.
And in this case, they dealt with the insurance company.
And they dealt with the insurance company twice, and they visited her twice. I understand. I'm not saying, but it was great that they did it. But it's not a requirement of mine. Is it a good idea? Sure. If it won't hurt you, it's not a bad idea.
And I just don't want people to think it next time around. If we have somebody that says, Tom, we signed a contract, I don't want to make it like, make it sound like these people are
But
bad.
a lot of times all they're doing is buying it. They're killing themselves because it's not going to get better.
No, I know they are. To force someone into a contract is ludicrous.
So the Peakview's customer, the caller, she gave us this number, 380 Roof. When I Google that, Peakview comes up to their website. So I wonder why we're not using that number for their listing, 380 Roof. So you may want to talk to Chris about that.
Because there's no letters on some phones.
I didn't put the parentheses.
And then their website's this other one, 719-593-0580.
How do you dial it?
No, that's what we gave out on the air, Dan. Is this is what we gave out on the air. What's on there right here? 50580.
Right. That's one you should
But I
be
just,
using.
I know, but I just wonder why we're not using that, especially when we give it out on the air. But I don't know. Mark has a point. Whatever.
You can't dial an R.
Stabilization. You may not even know when concrete sinks, it cracks. That's due to problems underneath voids. If you want to correct your...
You know what? There's probably, we're online, so don't let people hear you say that your damn Apple computer went dead. Some poor Chinese kid's probably getting his ass whipped right now
And
because of it.
he's in accessibility mode, so it's going to touch him. You're a little anti-Apple?
A little anti-Apple?
I suspect.
There's no joke. They literally had kids jumping out of the building that are building iPhones.
He's full of crap.
The other one's Martha Stewart a while back. She had these little slaves building her clothes.
You don't get better. Mark, as an operating system, you don't get better than Apple. That's just all there is to it. I mean,
the blood of some poor Chinese kid is on that thing. So every time you hit that key, you remember that poor kid who gets to eat once a week. That's fine. You guys do whatever you want. Me, Microsoft. Like everybody that started there has $1 million retirement. Everything's good.
A dying company.
Oh, a dying company. Only the second largest cloud in the world.
Yeah, no. Not happening.
Who bailed out here? All that money they took from Microsoft.
They stole from Apple.
Oh, you're so full of shit. You know what? I would
They
love.
took the original
I don't
idea.
even know where.
Who had the first GUI
I
interface?
can't argue with
Who had the first GUI interface?
Who gives a shit?
Who
marketed it and made it?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Who cares?
That's true.
No. Well, who came
So
back?
if I have an idea of something right now, who has the first referral list?
Who
had the first referral list?
Who came back to surpass Microsoft?
Maybe for right now.
Right now.
You can't
they've been
continue to just
Who invented the iPhone?
package things. And
Actually, the iPhone is probably the best invention.
They're the second largest cloud source on the planet.
But we're talking about capitalization.
We're talking about dead Chinese kids that Tom Martino doesn't care about. He doesn't care about dead Chinese kids.
Number one valuation, number one brand. But you know, Amazon's getting scary. It's getting scary.
Actually,
Google,
Apple's not the number one value.
Google, Amazon, Apple,
Alphabet.
Microsoft.
Alphabet is.
Can I say something
I
about
think
Apple?
that's
Alphabet.
Let me say something about Apple's customer service. They are the worst company that ever existed.
Who?
Apple. The worst that ever existed.
They have malls.
Yeah. Mark, their customer, once you buy, I'm telling you, even with Apple Care, they assign you a name and a time, and they never bend over backwards. I mean, they have the worst. If they have things break, and I don't give a shit what it is, they don't stand behind shit, and their warranties are short. I don't like them as a company.
There's your numbers right there.
Where's Apple?
That's exactly what I just said.
You're talking about things that happened 5 years ago.
More items.
Let me see who this is.
Don't matter anymore.
What doesn't?
I'm kidding. I
No,
said that
Apple
happened
number
5
one.
years ago.
Apple's number one market cap.
That
Oh,
was
wait,
lunch.
what year is
I just
this?
got lunch.
No, this is fucking years. This is years ago. But now that we've had lunch, let's go see what year's right. Now we're talking.
Well, you know what lunch is going to be? Roller hot dogs.
That's true. You never know.
No, he bet lunch. We're going to it right now, bud. But I never bet lunch. I did not bet lunch.
Yes, Ken.
No,
Yes,
I did
Ken.
not bet lunch. I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and acknowledge it. I give you one more Martino lunch he owes me.
Damn, I got a lot of his.
This is very important. You take note of these free informational seminars for stem cell therapy. I have had stem cell therapy. I can attest to how they work. It's wonderful. The diminished pain is unbelievable. I don't know what happened with my knees yet. I didn't really have pain in my knees or problems, but they said it was going to increase the joint space a bit as a preventive measure. And I will give you a report on that, but my back is unbelievable. Shoulder still the same. Of course, I never had really big problems with the shoulder, so I'm not sure what's happening there, but it takes time to fully evaluate. But I am so sold. However, I don't expect you to be sold, so just go to a seminar in Denver, Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, Fort Collins, other areas. Just call the number. They'll answer questions. I don't mean like question, answer, question, answer. It's not. They have a presentation, and all of your questions, I think, will be answered there. And, of course, you can always make an appointment to talk to the doctor more. But it's just wonderful. Give them a call, 855-262-4040. It's stem cell therapy to avoid surgery, to relieve pain, to grow new tissue in joints around your body. 855-262-4040. Read about it. It's wonderful. 855-262-4040. Now, we've had a lot of questions about business today. We have another one here with Scott, starting a business. Go ahead, Scott.
Mr. Martino, thank you so much for what you do and the information you provide to us out here. It's great to have somebody out there that's kind of on our side.
Good, man. What's going on?
Hey, I'm starting a power washing business here in the Springs, a mobile power washing business. And I guess my biggest question is, how do I get out to people?
Cat, what do you think? I mean, when you say mobile power washing, what are you power washing? Parking lots?
Anything. And I literally mean anything. Airplanes to hangars to buses, fleets, cars, you name it, we'll wash.
And do you have a way, are you doing this legally? You have a way to reclaim soap if you have to or stuff? How do you do it? Do you do it just hoping you never get a problem, or do you do it in parking lots? How do you do it? You go to their location and wherever it is you do it?
Yep. We go to their location anywhere that we need to be doing it. We do it.
Just so you know, if you got really popular, I'm just saying, I know this sucks, but there are environmental concerns people have, like when you start washing trucks and stuff, where they sit. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I can see some pain in the ass complaining, and then you having to, I know a guy that did a truck business one time, and he had to reclaim, because of what they were semis, he had to reclaim the water, and so it didn't go into the groundwater.
And we've already thought about that. We've actually got a company that is making special units for us. They're $5,500 plus a piece, but in the meantime,
how many do you have? How many washers?
Right now, I just have one truck.
You're incorporated now, right?
LLC.
Okay, good.
So let's talk about it.
Truck, but I've got 2 power washers, 1,000 gallons on board. I just spent $30,000 for the equipment. I mean, I'm ready to go to work, but and I have talked to Kat in the past. She was going to help me with something else, but I switched over to this, so I plan on calling her back and having her help.
All right, so as I say, you think of the feasibility, you already know there's a need, the capitalization, you have the money to buy equipment and to train and to do all that?
Yep.
What about advertising? What do you have for an advertising budget?
That's my biggest thing. I'm not sure. The last time I started a business, I did it, and I used several media types, and none of them did any good at all.
It's very hard. Marketing is very, very difficult. That's usually the key to success, or you're doomed. So, Kat, we can talk about this. Hold on, Scott, or call back, or we'll call you. We'll talk about it. It's really important. Marketing and any other steps you might have, Kat. That's really good. Remember, the top 3 things: feasibility, capitalization, and marketing. All of those have to be in place to have a successful business, and of course more. We'll talk about that. All you have to do is call 303-713-TALK. The Stem Cell Institute of America is in Denver, so if you're suffering from osteoarthritis of the knee, low back, neck, shoulders, hips, or other joint pain, stop and listen. These are must-attend stem cell therapy educational seminars, free, with no obligation to you. Find solutions to your pain and information that could change the way you live. With seminars in Denver, the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, and other places, including Fort Collins, there's sure to be one near you. You need to attend one of these seminars on regenerative medicine. It could be a life-changing experience. 888-628-1899 to register for one of our upcoming seminars. And for information, visit stemcelltherapyforpain.com. I'm Tom Martino. I had stem cell therapy on my lower back, and it's nothing short of a miracle. Within 1 week, 90% of my pain was gone. And now, I don't even remember the pain. Start living once again. 888-628-1899.
This is Denver's talk station. More with Martino after the news on 630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station. KHOW, Denver.
NBC News Radio, I'm Bill Zimper. The tweets are flying on this Thursday. The White House is backing up President Trump following his Twitter attack on Morning Joe co-host Mika Brzezinski. Spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders told Fox News that Trump fights fire with fire. Her comment comes after the president tweeted this morning that Brzezinski showed up at his Mar-a-Lago resort around New Year's Eve, bleeding badly from a facelift. He also called her low IQ, crazy Mika. The Morning Joe program has often been critical of the Trump administration. House Speaker Paul Ryan commented, saying the comments go counter to what they're trying to do in Washington.
What we're trying to do around here is improve the tone and the civility of the debate.
And this obviously doesn't help do that.
House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi also responded, calling the comments blatantly sexist. 2 immigration bills up for a vote in the House of Representatives today. One measure is intended to crack down on sanctuary cities, which are cities that limit cooperation with federal immigration authorities. The other is Kate's Law, which would implement stricter sentences on illegal immigrants who come back to the U.S. after they are deported. Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly says they are both needed.
The 2 bills up for vote this week, Kate's Law and the No Sanctuary for Criminals Act, will help Immigration and Customs Enforcement uphold our nation's immigration laws and help make our communities more safe.
President Trump's travel ban will partially begin this evening. The ban stops travelers and refugees from 6 Muslim-majority countries from entering the U.S. who do not have a bona fide relationship with someone in the United States. The High Court decided earlier this week to allow portions of the ban to go into effect until it hears arguments on the case in October. And wildfires across the western United States continue to spread, the biggest and most destructive.
I did that so hard one time in socks, I knocked myself down. Literally kicked my own ass.
A gymnast or something?
Cat, I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to do that and throw my leg and still stand on the other one behind my back.
No
behind
way.
my head. I could probably, if someone offered me enough money, I could probably pull it off within a week to where I could do it again. But it would take me a week.
I was going to say, I could probably with some stretching for a couple of weeks put legs behind my back.
I can put both of you on my back right now. What I'm talking about is if you gave me a week, I could do it like I literally throw it behind.
You know you have a connective tissue disorder, right?
I don't know what I got.
You have a connective tissue disorder.
It drives Suzanne crazy. Every single night, at some point in the night, I go Indian style in bed with 2 pillows here, and I will sleep like that for probably half the night.
Oh, gee.
Half the night. The only time it bothers me is occasionally I'll wake up and one foot went to sleep, which is always a pain in the butt. But it is the most comfortable way in the world to sleep. I sleep like this every night. 2 pillows Indian style like this. I swear.
Sitting down?
Ask Suzanne. I swear to God. Every night.
Curved.
Just 2 pillows right here, like this.
Sitting on your bed.
Sitting Indian style on my bed. Yes.
Tom Martino.
Every
630
night.
KHAL.
It's not like
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, and to take the place. Let's just go to the phones and find out what's on your mind. You'll find out what this show is about. And really, we've been doing it for so long, we just love doing it. But the important thing is not that you just get help, but you help others and tell people where to get help and how to get help. And then also spread the word about bad stuff so people can avoid it, and also spread word about good stuff. We have a guest today, Tower Financial Partners, talking about the wise way to start and run a business. So let's talk about that. One of the guys on the phone, he's not here, but he wanted to start a business. He's saying power washing. Feasibility, capitalization, marketing, 3 major deals. Those are the top 3 things you should consider before a business. Of course, feasibility. Will it work? Why will it work? What's the market? Capitalization. Do you have the money to do it and do it well? And then marketing. If you don't market something in an extraordinary way, you're going to die. So how would you market? He must be listening. I just want to ask. A power washing company. I mean, it's difficult. He wants to power wash literally anything. Garage floors, decks, motorhomes, trucks, cars. You know, sometimes when you have a wide scope of service, it makes it even more difficult to market.
It can. I think that if he's going to try and offer services to homeowners, then some of the closed Facebook groups are awesome marketing, because you end up getting
closed Facebook groups, okay? So do you mean like actually advertising or just chatting?
I just mean chatting, because if you're in a closed Facebook group and you answer people's questions and you do the Wednesday, put your business up there, and
I didn't know about that.
Somebody you know, tries you out, and then the next time somebody's looking for, hey, I need my deck power washed. Oh, well, I used Scott. His power washing company was great. Now you've got that word of mouth referral, and it's in a closed group within a certain geographical area. I know Denver has them, Colorado Springs has them.
So you go to Facebook and do what?
Well, you have to be invited to the group. It's closed.
But how do you open one?
How do you open a closed Facebook group?
How do you start one?
Yeah, so any group, I can start a Facebook page and say it's a closed group for people in the 809-200.
And what is, can you have an open group as well?
And you can have an open group as well, but when you control it...
And how is it different
closed,
than any other Facebook with comments?
Well, because you can have a closed, for instance, there's one in Colorado Springs called North Springs Mamas. They are within a specific geographical area, and they do lots of things together. They sell things. They ask people in that group, how do you do this in your house, or how do you...
But it's done on the timeline, right?
No, it doesn't show up on your timeline unless you're a part of that group. And so if
but what I mean is, do you see everyone's comments and everyone sees yours, but only in that group?
Only in that group.
Mark, that sounds cool. You know,
I didn't know it existed.
Oh yeah.
Can you do live chats on Facebook?
Yeah, of course.
I mean live chatting where everyone sees everyone's comments?
Yeah, like when they're watching us under the video, everybody can leave comments and you can reply to that.
But everyone leaving a comment can see everyone's comments?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I ought to put that up and start answering some of them or talking.
We do all the time.
Yeah. No, I know. I ought to do that too. Now, let's get to the phones. And, of course, if you have any questions for Kat, give us a call. I want to see who's been waiting the longest and really put an effort into getting through these calls. Yes, Mark, what?
I think it's funny how you deleted your own Facebook username.
Yeah, I know, by mistake. Well, I had to. It was corrupted somehow, and then I had to do a new one. And it's a long story. Francis, what's going on about, what is this slicing law all about? What are you talking about?
Well, I saw on the news channel, you know, I was just leaving, and it says that, you know, has a picture where the cars, I guess, you know, without being legally the distance, they're slicing really thin where they can just cut in front of you. You know, it used to be illegally, but it was just on a news channel, and I don't know. I called the police up, and they don't know nothing about it.
What was on the news channel, Francis? What?
I don't know which channel news it was, but, you know, if you talk to them, they don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. What
is he talking about? Deli meats?
No, are you talking about traffic?
With your automobile, where your automobile, they were showing a picture of the cars and that they can slice in front of another car.
Pardon me, Tom. I've looked high and low. I can't find anything about it.
Well, he's using a word. Okay, hold on. He's using a word called slicing, and obviously they probably don't use that word. So, Francis, you heard some. Let me just get this straight and see if I'm right. You heard something about a new law that addresses the problem of people weaving in and out of traffic, cutting people off.
Well, not that. It was just called a slicing law, and it showed the automobile picture with the newscaster there saying there's a new slicing law went in effect today, and that they can just, I guess, slice right in front of you without being the legal distance.
Wait.
And I guess if they cause a wreck, I don't know what's legal then. You know, the insurance companies are going to really go up. I don't know.
I've never heard anything about it, honest to goodness.
Yeah, I can't find it neither. I'm just trying to figure out, because if I get out there and then they say, hey, you're to blame because the slicing law applies to
what?
You know, I don't know.
I wonder if he's got a medical marijuana card.
Around that, you know, the other things to blame for it if you sliced.
I've never even heard the word slicing ever.
Yeah, I've never known.
And they use the word slicing.
Yeah, they just used the word slicing law went in effect today, and they showed the car, you know, and there was just, you know, just very little, maybe one car space that you could just fit between the two cars, and you would just get in.
Yeah, you said that. Okay, you absolutely said that 6 times. I understand exactly what you're saying, but I can't find it. If anyone knows, here's the great thing, Francis, about the show. We put out the word. Does anyone know anything about what Francis is talking about? A traffic slicing law that went into effect today. Now, Francis, when you say...
3 weeks ago, I think.
Okay, about 3 weeks ago. Okay, so it went into effect about 3 weeks ago. Does anyone know anything about it? It's called a traffic... Oh, wait, he's calling it a slicing law. And I know we're all Googling right now, and I find nothing. But let's call it weaving. I don't know. Don't you call that weaving when people go in and out like that or not? What do you call it, Mark? What do you call it?
I guess you'd call it weaving, but he said no, he's not talking about that. I wonder if he's talking about, we've had some traction laws that were implemented this year.
What?
Traction.
What does that mean?
When it snows out, when you got to put certain tires chains.
Mark, that's way off of what
I don't know what else he's talking about.
He's talking about people cutting you off, but I'm
I know that. Maybe he's talking, maybe merging is what we should be looking for.
Oh, like zipper laws, like what we talked about one time when I was on, where, look, I can
Let's look that up. Look up whatever you can. People, if you know anything at all about what he's talking about, give us a call. Now, did you know in California, I don't know about other states, but I know in California because I was out there, and my in-laws were saying that's legal because I thought it was wrong. I thought somebody was doing something illegal. We're in the traffic. Did you know in California, motorcycles can go anywhere they want? Did you know that?
Yep.
They can go in between.
It makes me want to open my door sometimes when I'm sitting there in that traffic.
I mean, they're zipping through traffic. Now, I mean, I don't mind that they can do that. They come so close to your rearview mirrors. They can go between cars in traffic. They can go around. They can weave. They can bob.
We were just there. I had no idea as well, like you did. And I saw a cop behind me in this motorcycle going in between, and I'm thinking, that guy's going to get busted. And then I see it everywhere.
That was the most shocking thing when I saw motorcycles doing that.
There is a new video online by the Department of Transportation that talks about zipper merging or late merging, which is using all 3 lanes if you're merging down to one.
Is that a new video?
That's what it looks like.
Okay, then send me a link to that. Are you on Google right now?
I am. It's on Denver Channel.
So it's all zipper laws or something.
It's on Channel 7?
Yeah, it's on Channel introducing the zipper merge, but it doesn't look like it's a law, but it did just come up recently.
Okay, let's go, Lisa. Lisa, what's going on, Lisa? Hi.
Hi.
What's happening with your treadmill?
I'll make it as short as I can. We paid and ordered for one on the 21st.
And this is the 21st of June?
Month.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was supposed to be delivered. They didn't call, didn't show. We ended up getting it on the 24th. It was supposed to come in a box. They brought this beastie little animal assembled, and they tried to get it through my back door. Couldn't do it. Ended up breaking some collectibles that I collect, a couple dents in my wall holes.
Okay, so did you finally get the treadmill?
Yeah.
Okay, so are we addressing now the damage to your home?
Well, that and that I'm debating on whether it was a new unit even, because they were supposed to bring it in a box, and we were told it was back ordered. I think maybe it came out of another Sears. Called the manufacturer.
Would that bother you if it was sitting on the floor? Would that bother you?
Yes and no. Not really if I was told that.
Yeah.
But there is some scratches and damage to it.
Yeah, that would bother me a bit, sure.
You know, if they were upfront with me, and they're telling me it happened on the truck or on the concrete when they were building it. I mean, I can't talk to a manager.
How bad are these scratches, Debbie? I'm not Debbie. I'm sorry, Lisa. How bad are I'm looking at the other woman on the line. So how bad are they? If you take pictures,
I'm totally able to live with it because it's on the.
Okay, so what do you want us to address with Sears?
I want help finding out who's going to come. I've tried to call. They give me a number.
You didn't tell me what you need help with. What do you want help with?
The damages that were done in the house.
Okay.
They're telling me I have to call, take care of it. I do. I've tried, but I
okay, so it's wall damage, and what else?
My collectibles. My
what were they worth? What were they worth?
You know, anywhere from not much, 150 to 175
each.
No, for what broke.
These guys are idiots for not addressing this. Suzanne.
Tom, I thought she said to me that they have filed an insurance claim. Am I not correct, Lisa?
Right.
What kind of insurance claim?
Well, we filed with. They said we have to go through this delivery company, and
of course,
the problem I'm having is that they said they'd contact us in 72 hours. I can't even get the manager.
I can't stand when people. Why do companies do that? They should not even give a time limit if they can't meet it.
Well, it's
you want me to reach out to the angel, Tom?
We have a Sears contact, which we lovingly call angels. Let's at least give it a try, Lisa. If we're just really boiled down to some damage and some shotskis or whatever you have, these little what are they, these collectibles?
Corningware.
Corningware.
Old school coffee pots. And
okay, well that's nice. I see what you're saying. Hold on, Lisa. If you can give us some photos, it would help, but we're going to reach out to Sears, okay? And let's talk to one of my favorite people on the show, Brent Ivinson, for our Mortgage Minute and talk about a really big deal. A lot of people understand when you lower interest, the cost of money goes down, so your monthly payment goes down. But there are other benefits to refinancing that will save you even more money. Brent, can you explain?
Well, absolutely. You know, we have one of the hottest real estate markets in the country right here. And so you have a number of people that when they got into their home, they didn't have 20% to put down, so they likely have mortgage insurance on their current mortgage.
Yes.
What we are finding is that we've seen enough appreciation. Even those who have bought in the last year and a half can refinance and eliminate their mortgage insurance. And it's typically just $200, $300, $400, even almost $500 a month in savings just by getting rid of it and getting into a lower interest rate.
You know, Brent, sometimes they save more getting rid of that insurance than on the interest. Do you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, and remember, it doesn't protect the borrower at all. It's there to protect the lender. So the sooner you can get rid of it, the better off you are.
Right. So if your values have gone up in your home, it's likely you can get rid of private mortgage insurance. So Brent Ivinson and the whole team at Ideal, they don't just refi you, but they also put you in a better position. And they will definitely check your private mortgage insurance and try to get rid of it every time. Give them a call, 303-867-7000, 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. And you know what I say about Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. He's the best. You know, what does that mean? What does the best mean? Everyone says best this, best that, best. It's just genuine. If I have to use a word, and let's not use best, let's use genuine. And I mean genuine. When you meet this guy, you will instantly like him. There's just nothing not to like, and his whole team reflects that spirit. So we could talk about his skill for buying and selling real estate and how he can help you list your home and get the most out of it, or how he can find deals when you're looking to buy. We can talk about all of those skills, but the real deal is him. When you find out what he's all about, you'll use him. 303-920-1622. 920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning.
I just was reading into what he said about that MSNBC lady.
Oh my God! He's an idiot. You know what? I don't care what. I'm not talking politics now. He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
I don't know, man.
He's an idiot.
They spent all morning bashing him on that show.
How he became president, I do not know. He is in petty squabbles.
Guys like me want a business leader.
He is in petty squabbles. You know
Looks
what?
like a child.
The problem is, you can't run the government like a business. I wish you could, but you can't. You got to.
We
doing
go back and forth. Reagan Reagan did it too, and then we go back.
Well, Reagan did it. Reagan had diplomacy, and he had tact, and he had.
I think you forget how much the liberals and the news hated Reagan. They went after him for a Ron Contra-like. I mean, he might as well have blown up an orphanage.
Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely.
We forget how nasty some liberals can be, and the other way around. My God, Trump not long ago was saying Obama wasn't born in this country and shouldn't be president.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he was a birthday.
You know, I don't know if he was born in this country or not, Obama. I don't know. I mean,
Tom's a birther.
No.
I know Dan's a birther. I have no doubt he's a birther.
He
Are
was.
You think Obama
There's
was born
something wrong with his birth certificate.
Here's what I think, guys. Here's what I think.
Something wrong with
It's not where he was born. Here's what I think, and why he has sealed all his records.
He lied.
I know.
He lied to get into school.
I think he might have used something on his application to get into school.
That's called lying.
I know. There's a liberal answer right there.
It's called false news.
He was misleading.
Fake
But
news.
I don't think that he
had fake news.
She had fake news.
There's no doubt.
Don't you think it's possible he claimed to be part of a minority or foreign exchange?
He claimed, I'm sure, to be from, is it Thailand? Where was he at?
Nigeria?
God, I don't know.
No.
I have no idea.
His father was from Nigeria.
Nigeria, but he went and lived with his stepdad and stuff was.
I have no idea.
Not Thailand. Over there. Their mom moved him.
Germany.
No. No, not Germany.
Canada, Mexico.
We'll start naming random countries.
It's over
AdvancedExteriors.com. That's advanced. Those are
Indonesia.
I hope you never get in trouble and need a defense attorney.
But, you know, traffic violations like DUI become very serious. And DWAI, marijuana has been causing a lot of those tickets. And that's a very difficult thing. You may not intentionally think you're endangering anyone, and you could get a ticket for this. Joe Lazzara has experience in dealing with marijuana tickets for driving while smoking. Of course, the recommendation is always the same. Don't drink and drive. Don't smoke and drive. Come on. You know, it's so easy to get a designated driver or use Uber or Lyft or taxis. Here's the deal, though. Sometimes you are falsely accused. At other times, you're just an idiot. And sometimes you don't know. You're somewhere in the middle. You just don't think about it. Those times you need Joe Lazzara. Remember that name, seriously. If it ever happens, you're going to wonder, who should I call? Who should I call? Joseph A. Lazzara. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Look for Joe Lazzara. Lazzara on my referral list at referralist.com.
Do you owe the IRS more than you can pay? Get your peace of mind back. Go to advancedtaxsolutions.com.
Sean Hannity.
Don't tell me the media in this country does not have an agenda. Don't tell me that they're fair, balanced, and objective. Because it's a lie.
Hannity, later today at 1
The
on
funny thing is,
Denver's
the
Talk
millennials
Station,
don't trust anybody.
630 KHOW.
The millennials
Don't trust them.
any of the media.
I believe.
I am Tom Martino. Thank you for being here. What's going on with Debbie? Hi, Debbie. What's happening?
Hi there. Hey, I was just really wanting to inform more than anything else, I guess, the public about out-of-state roofers.
Well, man, have we... I don't think we can get enough warning. Tell me about it. What do you got?
Well, what I have is I did not even think I had hail damage from our last May 8th storm, and somebody called me and said that there was lots of damage in our area and wanted to come and see if I had roof damage.
Now, they just called you at random?
They did, and I would love to know how they got my number.
Well, I mean, there's so many ways. I would have said, thank you, I'll get it checked.
Right? Well,
And then get
if
it
I knew
checked.
what I was doing, I would have done that.
Yeah, so what happened?
So he came out to the house, and I was out of town when he came, told my neighbor my roof is destroyed.
Oh, no.
And then I contacted him back when I got home, and he came. He wanted me to set up a meeting with the adjuster. So I had an adjuster come out, and he confirmed that it was that I do need a new roof, which I was thankful for.
So where are we standing? Where do we stand now?
So this is the problem. This guy was a super pushy sales type of personality, and he had me sign a one-sided piece of paper that just gave him permission to speak to the adjuster and get up on my roof.
Wait, that's not so. You think that's what it says, but that's a trick. You're just giving me authorization to speak on your behalf and look at the roof, but it was really a contract, wasn't it, Debbie?
Well, it really wasn't. It was a pretend contract.
Well, no, what I'm saying is he considers it a contract.
Correct.
Oh, that's what I meant, okay?
Yes.
So here's the deal. Now you got a fight on your hands.
Okay.
But
so
we can help
you. That's my question. Okay. So that's my question. I asked him for a copy of the paper I signed, and he said he needed to go to Kinko's and make a copy.
So wait a minute. First of all, you didn't read it, and second of all, you didn't even get a copy. Now, did you ever get a copy?
I did. I have a copy.
Good.
And
now, if the copy, if that contract is not legal in Colorado, then it's not binding.
Right.
And I don't think it's, I'll bet you he didn't state the materials, He didn't break down the costs. He didn't give you the 3-day right to rescind, did he?
He did that once he went and made a copy. He put something on the back. He put the terms and conditions on the back of the copy.
Listen, what I'm saying is this. If he did not do the contract according to state law, you're going to be able to get out of it, but it's going to be a fight because he's going to threaten you and come after you and all of that, okay?
Did he have to sign it? Because he did not sign it.
He didn't sign it. Well, he can sign it at any time and it's executed, but that's weird he didn't sign it.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think he's the
but
smartest
it doesn't matter. You signed it and you agreed to it. You want out, I think, right?
I want out.
But you signed it. Remember, you signed a contract. Now, there are two ways to sign a contract, legally and illegally. If it's not a legal contract, then I don't see how he can hold you to it. Is he out of state?
He is.
How did you find that out?
I looked him up.
What's the name?
Highcraft.
Highcraft.
Mm-hmm.
And did you call him and say, I want the 3-day right to rescind? Did you do it within 3 days?
You know, when I signed this, I went out of town and...
No excuse. You didn't do it.
Right. No, but that wasn't on this.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so the paper I signed was one-sided, just the front side only. When he went to go make a copy of it, he added that to the back of my copy.
You have 3 days from the time he added it. Did you rescind it when he added it?
No.
Why?
Because I just feel like this contract is not even valid.
Debbie, okay. So did you truly not feel you had a contract?
I truly feel this is not a contract.
No, I'm not talking about how you feel now. I'm talking about at the time. The reason you what did you think you were signing?
Just giving him permission to go over the damage with my adjuster.
Okay, well, we all know that's wrong. We all know that's a trick. We all know, in my opinion, they're crooks. They suck. I hate it. I want to help. I hate when this happens. If it was a legitimate company, they sat down, they explained everything, you made a conscious decision, but I don't like when they trick people. So what do? You can write to them and say, you know, I don't know, you got to do it in your own words, but if it was me, I'd say, according to state law, you're supposed to have this contract to include this, 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 and this. Your contract is deficient. I was uninformed. I am not going through with it. I hereby cancel it. You know, is the guy going to take you to court? Probably not. You know, if you want, we'll call him. I mean, but I have to see what you signed first, okay?
Okay.
So give us a copy of what you signed. People, how do you help? How do you help people that just paint themselves into a corner? How do you do it? It gets so tiring. Let's get a copy of that, okay, and then we'll look at it. Mark had an expression. You can't help stupid. It's true. I'm not calling her stupid. I'm talking about stupid mistakes. I'm not talking about people. But you're right, you can't. Tim, hi. How are you, Tim?
I am very well.
I'm hoping, man, I'm getting frustrated because we've had a series of these problems that just, I feel so badly for people. Is there any, I hope I can help you with this one. What's happening?
There is a company in town called Denver Outfitters. They bought a company called Titan Rod Vault. Are you familiar with this?
No.
So I'm in the fly fishing industry, and you probably see these around town if you look, but they're rod vaults that are on top of people's car.
Oh, you mean to keep their fishing rods?
To keep their fly fishing rods in, yes.
I've seen them, yes, and
yeah.
Well, I don't know if I've seen specifically for those, but I've seen like these Thule things and things like that. You've seen Thule, right? Thule.
I think it's Thule, but I know exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I thought it was THU. Whatever it is.
No, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it used to be owned by a company called Titan Rod Vault. They were pretty good. They, had a hard time sourcing materials, but they were bought by this millennial group, and I call them millennial because they're of that generation. And they have this business plan where they do a Kickstarter pre-order modality, if you will, where you order your rod vault at a discount, You know, and then they will guarantee delivery by, you know, June.
God, I missed it. Order what? A ride bolt?
No, something to hold your
rod vault.
It's a fishing pole.
Oh, okay.
Storage compartment on top of the car.
Got it.
A roof rack a roof
Those
container.
beautiful tubes for
They're
those
tubes.
nice fly
They're
fishing
3 little
rods.
tubes, yep, exactly.
Okay. So anyway, what's going on with it? Let's get to it.
They're missing all of their deadlines. So they're saying, yeah, you can get your rod vault by this amount of date. They take your money.
Are you sure it's not written like a crowdsourcing thing? Because those are written with no guarantees.
No, I think it is, but I think the biggest reason I'm calling today is more of a buyer beware.
Okay, what is it?
It was a great company in Denver. Now it's owned by a bunch of millennials that won't hit their deadlines. They take your money. They won't give you a refund if they don't hit the deadline. You have to wait months and months and months to get this rod vault. They've pulled all of their old retail out of retail shops, so the only place you can get them is there. I just think that I just wanted to give a buyer beware.
You're just frustrated.
Oh, I'm so frustrated. They've missed their deadline like 3 times. I actually emailed them, and first they emailed me. They said, hey, we're going to have your rod vault ready by X date. And I was excited. Great. I'm so excited. So I wrote them to say, hey, I'm going to come pick it up on X date. And they said, well, you know, we don't have it ready yet. And, okay, well, when will it be ready? And their response to me was, you're in the middle of the order 3 out of order 5. How do we know when we're going to have this?
It just sounds like they don't have their ship together. You know, they're bad sailors. They just don't have it together. And it's like they're just like laissez-faire. They don't care. It just sounds crazy.
I can only imagine them with like really, you know, burly beards and flannel shirts.
What I would do, I would demand on a refund unless you just love it so much.
Well, they have cornered the market, unfortunately. So I mean, they have a great product, but
wow.
The problem is that they're impossible to get through them because of all these pre-orders. So buyer beware.
Can you imagine having a company that is so in demand that they can misuse people? You know, Tim. Thank you. Really. So, he's just warning you about the fly fishing vaults. What is actually the name of the company?
They're impossible to get.
What's the actual name of the company?
So,
okay, I can't. He was listening. What was the actual name of the company? Whatever it is, it's the only ones that control or that sell these things. 303-713-8255. Right now is hail season. We've had hail season. We still have hail season, and I'm going to talk about FlexDent to get your car fixed if you have hail damage. But really, if you have parking lot dings or any kind of damage, dents, as long as the paint isn't involved, if the paint is not cracked or chipped, you can use paintless dent repair, and FlexDent is the best. They have years and years of experience, all certified paintless dent repair techs. And your downtime is minimized, multiple locations, convenient. Now on big jobs you save $500 if you mention Martino. FlexidentColorado.com. They really are superb. Seriously, you gotta give them a call. You will love Nick. He'll give you an estimate quickly. So if you are waiting to get your car done, call right now. 303-619-6273. 303-619-6273. Or look them up, FlexidentColorado.com. Also at referrallist.com.
This report is brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Let's start up in the high country, eastbound I-70 there between...
Take line 2 when you come back because I'm splitting. I got to go meet Mike Thomas. But I need to talk about that update.
Oh, no, you do.
He's almost to Castle Rock.
Crash on the eastbound side of the Boulder Turnpike at Pecos. That's got traffic backed up past Federal. The weather forecast. Slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms today.
Denver Outfitters was, I think, the original company on that.
Who?
For those rod vaults. It looks like you can make one.
Yeah. I mean, I
don't see how you can say the corner of the market. I looked up another one.
Say that again?
These rod bolts and stuff, I mean, that's all they are, is a tube that It's on there like a bike rack. Looks like a PVC pipe.
They might have a new, cooler one though.
Notice from the
I've seen some that are invisible.
Let Advanced Tax Solutions
What do you mean
clean
invisible?
up
They're invisible. You can't see them.
peace of mind.
How do they?
Right here in Denver, helping
They're
clients.
invisible.
They cost nothing to make. I think what he did is he bought an invisible one. Because the guy's like, you already have it.
Why not just
we shipped it to you last week. You just don't see it. UPS didn't see it.
No, be careful when you put your rod in there. They'll be invisible.
Remember the Wonder Woman plane in the cartoon?
Yeah, where she's just sitting there.
She's just sitting, flying around in the sky. Oh my God! I wonder whose genius that was.
Why not just tie the rod onto the roof of the car?
Less than 15 minutes, and many patients.
That doesn't work, Cat? You sound like a fly fisher person.
What's that?
It's the only way I know how to fish.
Oh, my dad
I
loves
said it's the only way I know how to fish.
Oh, I see.
My husband thinks, doing this hook sinker thing, that's
A bobber.
fishing, and I'm like,
I
yeah.
love bobber fishing.
And that my son and him just love it. And I said, I think what you love is sitting around and drinking beer.
Well, that's
but,
why
you
I
know.
love it.
There's a point there. So?
I
Your point?
kinda,
You know how hard it is to hold a beer in a running stream while doing this number?
That's why you buy those little things you put the rod in.
Yep, they've got those.
Oh,
They've got
the
those.
popper hopper. Or I know what you're talking
The
about.
spiral thing that
Yeah,
goes down into
exactly.
the ground.
Pigtail line.
And then when it gets a bite, it
And
goes.
you gotta have a little bell on it too. So it
A bobber with a bell.
Something like a bobber.
The redneck fishing's when you throw an M80 in the pond, though, and they just come floating.
There, and they just collect them.
Go get dinner, okay, Mom. Boom.
If you just really want to collect, you just put a can of tuna fish into a crab pot, you throw it at a level mile or right.
That'll work.
Crayfish, like you wouldn't believe.
Do what?
Fresh
Crayfish.
crayfish.
Tuna fish. You throw a can of tuna
Can
fish.
of fish in there, and they'll come in that crab pot. And
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, and here to help if we can. We try. We got a big one going on. The guy just got off the phone. We wanted to give an update. Hey, you're talking to line 2. Did that guy that wanted an update on that case, where is he? Is he still there?
I guess he dropped, Tom.
That's too bad, but let's give the update.
Let's give it. So Deputy Dan and I went out yesterday.
First, let me give some background. This woman called and said she needed a roof. She called a guy for a roof. The roof, or the guy showed up or something. She hooked up with this roofer. Mark, the name of the roofer?
It was I-25 Roofing and Restoration, and the character's name was Vincent Torres.
Okay, so Vincent shows up, and he takes money. He does a terrible job.
Takes $2,400.
Yeah.
And then the insurance company gives her $2,000, so he gets a total of around $4,000.
Then she's leaving town, and she says, I'm going to leave town. You got to work when I'm not here. He asked for permission to store his tools in the house.
And so people understand this is a rental property of hers, not her primary resident.
And he wanted to store tools. When she comes back, she finds out the roof is a terrible job.
Holes in it.
The siding is a terrible job.
Won't believe that story.
And you're going to take each one. And then he not only stored his stuff there, he let people live there and charged rent. And also, some of his guys stripped the house of copper and fixtures.
Oh, big time. I have pictures. Ripped them right out of the ceiling.
She tried to sue him in small claims court.
And the court date was today.
And this guy countersued her with a 17th Street law firm to take her to district court. And basically, these guys, I can't believe it.
I think it's his M.O. Maybe the attorney's M.O. as well. I don't know.
So, there is the story. Basically, hold on. Are you the one that was asking about it, Chris?
Yeah.
Did you hear the update? You know,
I did, and
well, then Mark went out to visit the location. And what did you find, Mark?
Unbelievable. First of all, the house is just a wreck. It's in shambles. So let's take the roof first of all. Horribly. The decking inside is absolutely horrible. The siding, you ready for this, Tom?
Now that roof would never pass inspection.
Never pass inspection.
And
there's holes in it.
There's holes in it, and he wants $30,000. He's suing her.
When it rains, rainwater comes in instantly.
He claims, and his bozo attorneys
Yeah, and he never pulled a permit. He's not licensed to work in Denver.
He's got some cutthroat attorneys going after her. The roof. He wants to get paid for a roof
Listen
that
to the
hasn't
siding, though.
been done.
The siding is
ahead.
People aren't going to believe me.
Go.
He actually removed siding from the back of the house that you would not see and had it put on the front where the damage from the weather was there. Do you hear what I just said?
Yes.
So he took the siding from the back and put on the front. I couldn't make it up. She showed it to me.
Then what?
And the guy that did it, the homeless guy that was living there, okay, that he was charging rent to,
does this homeless guy
is working for her now.
This homeless guy says he was paying rent to this guy.
Oh, yeah, he admits. He told me the whole story. He's the one that told me how he had to handle the siding according to this guy and other stuff. It is absolutely a nightmare.
How is this law firm going to take her to court when we're going to have experts show that the roof is deplorable?
And I hope old Vincent hears this, because, Vincent, here's what's going to happen. We have an attorney. We're going to fight you basically to your grave,
right?
Okay?
Right.
And I got to tell you something. We're going to answer it, and we're going to go after everything. And I already know, Vincent, you're going to go bankrupt. I already know it. I already know what's going to happen with you, because we're going to get judgments like you won't believe because of the damage you caused.
This poor woman has been so ripped off. And this guy, literally, to hire this attorney, he would have had to put up $5 grand, wouldn't he?
Oh,
this firm?
I don't know, because I don't know if this firm is... I don't know. Here's something I do know, though. 2 streets over, we pass a sign that says I-25 Roofing and Restoration. So this guy is definitely working the areas. He's paid money to have those yard signs we see different roofing and painters do. And I got to tell you, if you see this phone number from this deadbeat, in my opinion, avoid it like the plague.
What's that number?
Vincent Torres is at 720, and you can see this on his signs everywhere, 720-481-1769.
Now, listen, he let somebody stay in the house... Hold on, and charged him rent.
While they were on vacation in Mexico.
Right, while she's on vacation, and she's a veteran, right?
That I don't know.
Oh,
no,
that's another one. Sorry.
Oh, you're thinking of the other.
Another one.
Yeah.
God, we have so many bad guys we're going.
This was incredible, though. This house, I do want to say, though, is in shambles. She's trying to get it fixed up on the cheap.
But I think that the roof speaks for itself. We're going to get Excel Roofing and some others.
They're out there today or tomorrow. They're going to tell us exactly what was supposed to be done.
We want a written report on the roof. How can he collect money for that job?
Here's the only reason, in my opinion, they kicked it up. He knows he's not going to get any more money from her or the insurance company. She put a halt to it. She actually did the best thing in the world. She called the insurance company and said, this guy's a fraud.
Good.
Just in time to keep the last $10,000 check from going anywhere.
Good.
Hopefully Excel Roofing is going to get it done for that $10 grand. We'll know soon. But here's what this guy did. In my opinion, he probably paid these attorneys $500 to $1,000 to get the judge to kick it to district court, because he knew that she's not going to be able to afford an attorney.
And then he was hoping to get a default judgment.
A default judgment. If she doesn't answer it, he will get a default judgment.
I hope he's willing to go the distance,
because we are.
So you are a scumbag piece of dirt, in my opinion.
Vincent, you suck.
Now, that's the update. Chris had some questions. What are your questions, Chris?
Yeah, so, Tom, total vindication on your end as far as how this thing appears to be turning out. I mean, the guy does sound like a scumbag, and I couldn't agree more. I'm actually really impressed that you would have sent, your partner out to the house to check in with the customer and then, kind of review the project. But I'm driving around yesterday. I'm listening to this story, okay? And I've listened to you for years. I love your show, and I appreciate your just brass tacks approach to problems and trying to help people. So, I mean, let me just say that first. But on the one hand, I'm like, and I'm going to bust your chops a little bit here. When you were beginning the story, I'm like, man, what if this is not really how it went, or,
Right.
It turns out...
No, we knew it was filed in court. We knew about the small claims. I mean, we actually had
No, but
stuff
he's
in the
right.
background.
Chris is right. Chris wants to know, how is it with some cases, and he's right, on some cases I say to them, well, let's send somebody out there and see what's going on. In other cases...
You hadn't done that yet, right?
No, I hadn't.
Nobody had seen it, and she's just saying all these bad things about this guy.
Right, and you know what? I don't know what it is, Chris. Sometimes I go out on a limb, and I want to address that, and I I say, in my opinion, if this is true, you'll hear little clauses I say that I've learned over the years. If this is true, in my opinion, blah, blah, blah. And I do use those words, but you're right, Chris. In other cases, I don't do that. I say, you know what? We'll have to have somebody look at it. We'll get back to you. Or let's give the guy a call and see what happens. Or let's ask him his opinion. But, Chris, I don't know what it is about some cases.
38 years of you doing it is how you knew this was the real deal.
Some cases I jump the gun a bit and I assume that it's mostly true. But there are other cases where I assume they're not true. I don't know why.
There's been ones we completely differ on. I'm going off on the guy, and you're like, hey, let's hold back a little.
And you were kind of right on most of those. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, well, I was just asking if there was ever a time that might have... I mean, in this case, she's saying these things, and you guys are kind of jumping on her side, and it did sound so...
I've had cases.
I got to tell you, when I got out there, Chris, it was unbelievable. In fact, she didn't even paint a good picture about how bad that roof was.
Oh, my God.
And then pulling siding off the back of the house and putting it there, and I literally met the guy that was paying rent, and he acknowledged he was paying rent to the guy.
Hey, Chris, Tom, if you're asking, have I ever been sued? Yes. Have I ever lost? No. But yeah,
okay. You took that one lady's condo.
No, I did. I know. Now listen, I get sued not often anymore. I used to get sued more, but I win, and because truly, what I do is protected by freedom of speech and also opinion. But I want to say something, Chris. If I use quantitative speech and state them as fact without basis, I could be in big trouble. If I say Chris is a criminal and blah, 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 but you'll never hear me say stuff like that.
Right. No, I've never heard you say
You will
that.
say, or if I say even a liar, I have to have some basis. I cannot say certain things as fact unless they are. Now listen, but you have to prove that I'm wrong and I knew I was wrong and I did it with malice. You know, the press in this country, I say press, there are no presses really. The media in this country really has so much freedom, it is some kind a little dangerous because there are so many people that can do hatchet jobs and every day they do it by leaving stuff out or slanting. So the answer is, I'd rather have it totally free and take our chances like this than have it the other way.
I couldn't agree more with that, and I appreciate your team and your efforts.
Well, you ought to come in. Get Chris in as a common man. Suzanne, what?
So we had a lady call. She had just given I-25 roofers Vincent Torres a call, so she is so glad she heard this today.
Good. Listen, please stay tuned for more, and we'll talk to you. Here's the deal, okay? In my opinion, you should not use them. Get Chris in for a common man, please. Get his name and number on line 2. All right. Let's talk about Plumb Line Services for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. I was at their place yesterday giving a talk to the staff. What do I talk about? You know what I talked about? Being a fine person. That's what we talked about. Literally, the owner of that company has me come in to talk about stuff. We talked about the right thing to do, when to do it, how to care for people, how to give the most value, how to be unselfish. I am not kidding you. We have the greatest training sessions, but training isn't what you think when it comes to Plumb Line. When it comes to their plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains, we're talking about not just skill and experience, but we're talking about love. We're talking about commitment. We're talking about people who are passionate about what they do. Enough said. They are truly a great company. Now, on the other hand, you can get them right now. You can get half off a new AC when you buy a furnace, or you can get free second opinions on any major item. 303-586-1086. 303-586-1086.
From the L&L
Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center. There's quite a few crashes to watch out for.
Corey called and said there's somebody named George downstairs for us. Are you expecting someone?
Yeah, tell him I'm off the air at 1.
Okay, I'll have Allie go down. Or,
Just make sure he's a good guy. He's an important guy, too, so we'll
Is it a Google guy or something like that?
No, not that one. But we will be down right after the show.
Due to construction southbound I-25 at Northwest Parkway. The weather forecast. A chance of afternoon thunderstorms today.
So what did you do to do your, you did injections of blood for your back or
stem cells therapy. Yeah, and you know, it was 78. With your crisp weather, I'm Pete. It really did a lot.
Did it?
I could tell just in his moods.
Yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
Because my hips are...
Oh my goodness, it can help. Now I don't know.
I've
I'm not a
done,
doctor.
you know, the steroid injection, and he said, you
No,
know,
steroids
he
help.
said, I'll do one.
That's right. But
He
you
said,
keep
I won't do
doing it.
another.
Right.
That's when you need a new
Because
hip.
they
And I'm like,
deteriorate.
there's no way. Yeah, they do.
But I'll tell you what, though, man,
Your favorite cheese and honey
if
smoked salmon.
it works, it works.
With their protein energizing superfood.
If it works, it
The only thing
works.
insurance doesn't
More
cover it.
projects on the job, healthy, sustainable energy all throughout the day, and high in omega-3s for brain development. Add it to your favorite dishes and catch the buzz with honey smoked.
I guess the guy's the homeless guy that lived in that house, I guess his last name was Tools.
That is so he sorted tools.
I'm kidding.
He did. I see. That's funny. I thought it was.
That's what he said. I was going to say that there when it
Sorted tool.
You should, seriously, you should see this place. They took doors off. They still took doors. They took pictures. They took a sink.
Oh, I believe it.
Highlands Ranch at University and 470. FitnessGallery.com. Fitness Gallery, getting Colorado in shape since 1997.
Are you taking Viagra for ED?
And on his roof, they ran out of decking halfway through, and they just didn't put decking the rest of the way. They had the old decking, which is, one by six. And you can see it when you look at the roof. You'll see it go, then it goes like a dip. It was really, and it's not a lie. He took siding off the back. Can you imagine how long it took him to do that? I mean, this is just replacing.
Rockies in 30. Joe has all of your favorite talk shows and all of your stations, all for free. iHeartRadio makes it so that I'm always with you, right in your pocket. I know that's weird, but you know what? Do it anyway. Take 630 KHOW with you wherever you go at 15. Show. iHeartRadio keeps you connected to KHOW so you never miss a thing. Plus, if you want variety, you can check out thousands of the best radio stations from all across the country. It's super easy. Listen at iHeartRadio.com or download the free iHeartRadio app now.
Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal. You know what I'm going to say. Go to Rocky's. No, that's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to say shop around for used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. Then go to Rocky's. Take your notes. Rocky's loves comparison. If you truly compare apples with apples, you will find not only more apples at Rocky's and all different colors and shapes and sizes and price ranges, but you will find the best deals for those apples. Give them a call and go see them. 303-426-4646, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. They have 40 different lenders that you can choose from, depending on the deal. And not only that, but they're all competing for your business. They give the higher trade values because they sell most of the trades right back on the lot. It's a good system, straightforward, great deals. 303-426-4646, 63rd and Federal.
I think it is essential for your security and your family's security that we vet anybody coming from anywhere into this country.
Hannity, later today at 1 on Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. You just heard that story about Vincent Torres, right? Well, Kevin's got a comment. I urge you, if you miss anything, to go to khow.com and get our podcast. What's going on, Kevin? What's your comment?
Hey, real quick, I got the number off air you guys have been saying, and I called, and I had to leave a voicemail, of course, but I let Vincent know that I'm going to be leaving town for a while, and if he'd like to come over and do my roof and maybe steal my appliances and take my fixtures off the wall and rent it out, he's more than welcome.
That's funny.
And then I didn't curse or no profanity or anything.
Okay.
I left it with, I said, dude, you're in a mess. So
yeah,
that's what I left it with.
And I think this. Why do you think he's being so rude? He literally is taking her to district court. He's trying to punish her. It's scary. Thank you. But on a serious note, avoid this company. In our opinion, I mean this based on what we've seen. OMG, as they say. Woo! Is it nasty? 303-713-8255. Now. Donald wants to talk about HOA fees. Go ahead, Donald.
Yeah. How you doing, Tom?
Good, man. What's happening?
Hey, my HOA company, they just went up on the HOA fee.
Yep.
Last year, $30.
Yes. Yeah.
And here they are back again this year, new company. And
you mean a new management company?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you complaining about the price?
Yes.
There's not much you can do about it unless you're part of the HOA meetings and stuff. I mean, that's where they determine prices and budgets and all of that. So, I mean, I agree that HOA fees can be a problem, but in each and every bylaw, there are procedures for getting involved, Donald. And so, rather than waste your time, here's what I'd like to do. Can you give him the number to Stan, the HOA man? And let's get Stan on again one time in the future here. Donald, we're going to give you a guy who made it a life's mission to keep these people in check at HOAs around the whole Colorado. Seriously. Hey, Kat Campbell, will you do a free 20-minute phone consultations for potential new clients of small business?
We do free 30-minute phone calls.
Okay, so for a free 30-minute phone consultation, I really want to get this out, because Tower Financial Partners, they truly become your partner. Now, not financially, they're not going to demand a piece of your company, but they will help you in every aspect of your company, in all of the operational and financial operations and procedures. They can train you to do stuff. They can job it out for you and help you manage that, or they can do it themselves, depending on the task. If you want to find out more about getting help for your business, now, this is not taking money from your business. They will help you make more money. They more than make up for any expense it is to hire them. 719-357-8824. Now, you won't get the 30 minutes right when you call, but they'll schedule it unless she has the time when you call. 719-357-8824. Yes, they do handle the entire metro area. 719-357-8824. Okay, Jim's got a comment about the split lanes and the motorcycles in California. Is that what it is, Jim?
Yes.
What is your comment?
A few years back, when we moved out of Colorado to California, we noticed, that they were splitting lanes, and it was kind of a shock to us. So anyway, we're getting on the highway, and it was bumper to bumper.
Right.
My wife and I pulled in to the slowest lane, fine, and then there was a big truck next to us. He was kind of going slow. So both of us turned around and looked, saw nothing. She went into that middle lane.
Yeah.
And this motorcycle came around us, around that big truck, and slammed right into the back of it.
Oh, no. I'm sorry I didn't have more for details, but wow, that sucks. Jim, thanks for listening, by the way. And by the way, for that free 30-minute phone consultation on your small business, 719-357-8824.
A neighbor, a loved one, you. Opioid addiction can affect anyone. It does not discriminate by race or age or wealth. Too many Coloradans are addicted to opioids. Thousands of Coloradans are battling addiction.
You would not believe the epidemic in this country.
Of scammers?
Of opioids.
Oh, I do believe it.
My God.
Makes it really hard for people to